Hello there. What are you guys doing here?
Hey.
Hello.
Ransom. Talking about the British Empire.
Excellent. Is John here? Do you know John?
Which John?
I don't know. You just said John. I'll take that as a no. The consequences of the British Empire, you're saying.
Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles. What sort of permits were required to put up these tents?
Just the ones that they got. Just the ones that they got from the highway patrol.
I gotcha.
Yeah. Full permit. Highway patrol.
Like for tents and music, or are those two different permits, or just one permit for the both?
I think it's sort of like just an event permit.
An event permit?
You decide what you want to do.
Excellent.
What's your sign?
I mean, I think it's pretty clear, as clear as your shirt.
Oh, I honestly thought it said leg, like you led me. I didn't read it.
Oh, excellent. Well, my sign means that Jesus sometimes did not tell things that were true. That's what my sign means. What does your shirt mean? Yeah.
It means that for God to love the world, he gave his only son that whoever.
So yours is a bit more convoluted than mine. You see how mine means what it says and yours is like poetry, yeah? Do you agree? That I am saying what I mean and you are saying sort of like a whole sermon, is that correct?
No, it's not. But I'm not really interested in debating.
I don't care that you're not interested in debating, sir. Do you care that I don't want you to sing? What's your name, sir? What about having a conversation? Would you like to have a conversation, sir? I have heard you say that you don't want to debate. I'll attempt to respect that. Let's have a conversation, though. What's your name, sir? Red shirt. What's your name, sir? Why are you talking to him? I'm talking to him. You're interrupting my conversation, sir. Sir, what is your name? Hey, sir, what is your name? Is this your child here with you? Did you bring your child to this, sir? Sir, I'm talking to you. Am I arguing with you, sir? Am I debating with you, sir? Or am I asking you questions? Say again, sir? Excellent. And what is your name, sir? Frank? Why don't you want to answer my questions, Frank? And where in your book does it say don't answer questions?
Part of LA. I'll talk to you about LA.
Why will you talk to me about LA instead of your sign and my sign? Why will you take the subject away from what we have difference about?
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah, I want to have a conversation.
The reason I did it because while I was telling you what my shirt meant, you interrupted me and said it was like poetry, and you didn't even give me a chance to finish my sentence.
I know the end of your sentence, though. You don't have to finish your sentence. I know where you're landing.
There's no reason to have a conversation.
No. You misunderstand what I said. You said I didn't listen to you, and I said I did listen to you. Do you understand?
Until you were done listening, and then you stopped me.
Until I knew that I had heard what you had said.
So you know it. Why do you ask that? So if you don't need to listen, then there's no reason to talk.
Okay, I did listen. Did you hear me when I told you that I listened?
No, I heard you interrupt me. That's
Cool. After I interrupted you, I told you thrice now, that I listened to what I interrupted. Do you agree that I listened to you before I interrupted?
Have you seen Darkest Hour? I love it. Churchill says,
no, I've not seen it. No, I've not seen it. No, I've not seen it.
Stop interrupting me while I'm interrupting you. That's what
Cool.
Saying.
I knew where you were headed with that sentence. Do you agree?
I don't know if I agree. I was saying a verse from the Bible.
Yeah, I know that verse. Cool. I've read it. I've read it to the end. So I knew which verse you were saying, right?
I don't know.
You don't have to debate, bro. Like,
bless you, man.
What's your name, sir?
I don't have to tell you.
I didn't say you have to. I'm just showing who's afraid to. Frank's not. Why are you afraid to tell me your name, pink purple shirt? I guess I can call you NASA until you give me a better name to call you. Is that right? Why did you talk to me if you don't want to have a debate? Why are you here, in fact, if you're not having a debate with your shirt? Are you not starting a debate with your permit and your shirt?
If you think so, that's fine.
Excellent. I do think so, and it's fine. What's your name, sir?
Does love require a debate?
Is it required? No. Shall we have a debate with love? Shall we require love in our debate?
I don't think love requires a debate.
Oh, I misheard you. I thought you said something else. Does love require a debate? I'm not sure. Does it require a conversation? Excellent. I want to have a conversation. I don't want to have a debate. You guys have put all that negative context on.
I just feel like you already know what we believe.
And I think that you are treating me that very similar way. Do you agree?
We change our opinions, but...
And I think that you are trying that very similar thing here with these tents. Is that
We
correct?
just want to love on people.
Okay, I just want to love on you.
Okay, how so?
By being here and having a conversation with
But
you.
you're not being very dishonoring to us as people.
I don't mean to be dishonoring to you as people. What have I done that has been dishonoring to you as people, sir? What's your name, sir? My tone. My tone has been dishonoring. Has this tone dishonoring to the people here that don't believe what you believe? Continue.
You're here just to love on the city. That's seen as
Sort of. Also, you're here to start a debate about whether or not Jesus saves. Is that correct?
We believe that he does save.
Excellent. And I'm here to answer that call. And then when I come here to talk to you, you guys act like I'm the one being aggressive.
Well, you just came out of
The only one
nowhere.
being-
No, I didn't come out of nowhere. I dropped by yesterday and I talked to John. I told him I'd be here. Your accusations that I came are misunderstanding. Do you remember when I talked about John and asked you where he is? That was to give you context, to tell you I'm not coming out of nowhere.
Why are you here? Like, what is it? What's your...
I've twice told you, I'll tell you again. To have a conversation about the debate that you have started and tell you that what you're saying is sort of evil.
Really?
Yes. Well,
Jesus came
are you sure?
to us,
Not evil.
Are you sure?
and
Are you sure about that?
I'm
Cool. And if you were wrong about that, would you stop doing things like this?
No.
well, because...
Wait. I think you misunderstood my question. What do you think you were saying no to?
Say again?
When you said no, what do you think I meant? What were you saying no to? No what?
Because my faith is unshaken.
No what? Not no why. No what?
Sir, I think it's clear you don't believe that Jesus came to tell the truth.
And I think it's clear that you believe he did.
Yes.
Right. So I don't
The
understand.
way, the truth, and the life.
That's what you believe.
Yes.
Right. So you're saying that very aggressively. Do you agree? Why do you think that that's not aggressive, but what I'm doing is aggressive? Why do you think that what you're doing is not, but what I am doing is?
I'll tell you.
When what I'm doing is responding to what you're doing. Why is what I'm doing bad and what you're doing good when I'm responding and you're starting? Go. If you don't have an answer, your friend, unnamed friend here will answer.
The reason why is if you've ever eaten the meal in a restaurant and the wait staff talks to you with the tone that you were talking to us, it would be considered rude.
Yeah.
And the tone in which is not like yours is considered polite. And so it's just basic understanding.
What if I
Try
can?
talking like this, like in a business setting or your job.
This is not a business setting, but continue.
Just try talking like this pretty much anywhere to someone, and you're going to get the same response of, "Hey, what's up?"
Do you wear that shirt in a business setting?
I would.
Do you wear that shirt in your business setting?
At the moment.
There you go. So what I'm trying
To
to...
answer my point.
Cool, I'm going to answer. I think it does, and I'll continue to answer your point. Secondly, this is not a business setting. 2, you would not be so aggressive in a business setting. 3, what you're doing right here is not a business setting. Not here to have business. We're here to...
Anywhere. Business.
Cool. You didn't say anywhere, you said
family,
business setting.
Business, family,
Okay.
campfire,
Cool.
the next tent
Cool.
down the road.
Now,
Anytime someone
what
says,
if
like,
I
you know,
think
it's
that-
me. It's just me, that's all.
Cool, what if I think
Tone.
that...
That's all.
What if I believe that the tone that you're using here is...
I think it's a stretch because tents are not tone, and neither is this is not a tone.
Are you sure that's not a tone?
I am very sure.
Cool. Are you sure that tone doesn't say that everyone who doesn't believe that is wrong? And are you sure that's not a condescending tone?
You can interpret it that way if you'd like.
Excellent. And you can interpret the way I'm doing things as negative if you would like
You're
to.
interrupting us. Actually, we're having a conversation amongst ourselves.
Cool.
I don't
What is
want
the
to
conversation about? Is it about Jesus?
talk about music.
Excellent. I would like to join that conversation. May I join that conversation?
Actually, not.
Why can't I join that
You're
conversation?
welcome to come back.
Because of my tone?
I think you answered the question.
No. I'm asking you to answer my question.
I'll answer it, yes, because your tone is not well.
Excellent. My tone is not welcome here. And if I tell you that this tone is not welcome here, you don't care.
I would just say talk to the police.
Okay, cool. Who organized this, may I ask? Did you?
You can ask it, but I'm not going to answer that.
So you're not the organizer? Is the organizer here? I would like to speak to the organizer. And in want of that, I will continue to speak to you.
Okay, well, if you could just keep it down, so we can keep talking to each other, that'd be fine. I'm going to keep it at this level so that you can hear what I'm saying. What's your name? Frank, right? Is that right? What are we talking about today? Frank?
Frank's a part of our conversation.
Yeah. Yes, and so am I. Why am I not part of your conversation?
Sir, we're kind of having a private time.
In a public place?
Yes.
I invite you to move to a private place to have a private time.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, bro. That's fine.
Yeah, and you
Gary,
can
what's up,
keep
man?
doing. Hey, Gary, my name is Mitchell. We're having a conversation here about tone. What sort of tone were you attempting to achieve today, Gary? Why will you use other people's names and not yours? It seems very sort of hypocritical. Do you agree? Do you agree that you've been hypocritical about names? You don't believe that your shirt is an aggressive tone? Do you think that his shirt is aggressive? Why not? What's your name? I know you don't need to, but I'm just illustrating that you continue to disrespect me by not giving you your name. Do you agree?
But you never give us your name.
My name is Mage. You never asked for it, did you?
Wasn't interested.
Thank you. What tone did you say that in, Jesus saves? So,
Let's go over here.
why would we go over there? We can talk right here.
Let's have a conversation.
We can have a conversation right here. I literally don't know why you want to physically move me.
Because I want them to set up.
I also want them to set up.
Sir, okay, look at
Mitch,
it.
yeah, what's your name?
Mitch, look at it this way. My name is Kevin.
Kevin, thank you.
Now, if the President of the United States
Yes.
is speaking,
Yes.
and someone in the crowd is screaming at them.
I'm not screaming, thank you though.
Okay, but if he was...
If someone was talking to him, yes.
What would they do in that crowd?
What would they do in that
What
crowd?
would security do if somebody would try to invade this person's space?
I'm not invading your personal space. You've accused me of things I'm not doing, yelling and invading your personal space. Is that how you feel, Kevin? Is that what you feel I've done to you?
I just kind of feel very...
Cool, Kevin, what you've done here is come out into a space and set up tents, and I've come to respond to you in kind, and you felt attacked. Now, you feel that way because what you were doing here was attacking, and I've done it back to you. Do you believe that I've mirrored your tone today, Kevin? And that when I did it back to you, you felt attacked? So if I told you that I feel attacked by what you're doing... You don't want to start a debate with a shirt like Jesus Saves? That doesn't start a debate.
You came up here without knowing what my shirt said, so what was your intention? You didn't come because you saw this from there. You came before you knew what this said.
No, I knew what you guys were doing before I came. I told you, I talked to John yesterday about
You
it.
didn't know about my shirt.
I knew what you were doing here. I knew you were saying that Jesus is the standard. Is that correct? So that's the message that you'll have today, right? I knew that was your message, correct? And is that an aggressive message? I like how you keep jumping into it, like you want to participate and then you retreat whenever you want to. Do you find that hypocritical?
And you're like just like a
No. I was having a conversation with Kevin and you interrupted it. Do you agree?
I honestly need to set up too.
Jesus is so good.
What you need to do is talk to the people who God has sent to you to talk to you. Is that right? You came here to be here and love on this city, and I'm part of this city. Do you agree?
Can I pray for you?
If I can pray for you.
No, I'm sorry.
Why not?
Because...
Why would I accept your prayer if you're not going to accept mine, Kevin? Is that hypocritical?
Well, okay, that's why I asked. You don't want to accept it.
No, you don't want to accept it. I was willing to if you accepted mine. You said no, Kevin.
I think, yes, I did.
Thank you. You said it very quickly.
I said no, yeah.
I considered it. Not if you're a hypocrite. And then you showed yourself to be a hypocrite, right? You asked me if I'll accept your prayer, and I said maybe. Maybe, depending on whether or not you'd accept mine. And you said no, so I can't accept yours. Do you agree?
That's what's that.
This is the key.
What is the story about that?
The story is nothing, it's costume. It's nonsense.
So why, is this just like an act, or?
Is yours an act?
No, this is who I am.
Okay, this is who I am. I'm a real preacher from the cult of Flying Spaghetti Monster. Have you heard of it? I've been down here for 5-6 years on this street, talking to people like you. I love on this city every day. I've been doing this waiting for people like you to come down, and then here you are and you're telling me that I can't do what I do.
Well, Mitch, if you want to have a conversation, you can talk later. We can set up.
What I'm going to do is talk the whole time you're here.
Well, okay.
I'm going to be here having conversations the whole time.
Look, Mitch, I just want you to know Jesus loves you. He's got a plan for you.
Oh, you're preaching to me?
No, I'm just telling you the truth.
Okay, do you mind if I tell you the truth?
No,
How many sentences are you going to take to tell me the truth? Yeah?
I think it's cool that you're like acting and like you're putting on this. I feel like, you know what? I saw this picture of a pirate ship.
Yeah.
And I feel like maybe as a kid that you dreamt of being like a pirate, or you were very adventurous,
Yeah.
and joyous,
Yeah.
and you wanted to like explore the world.
Yeah.
And I feel like what you're doing this is you're just, I just feel like
Cool. I feel like
you
when
have
you were a
dreams.
kid,
You
you
have
wanted to be a
dreams.
hero and save people and help them and love on them. And now you're doing that.
No, that's not.
You didn't want to help people when you were a kid. You didn't want to be a hero. You didn't want to help people who were suffering when you were younger. When you saw people suffering, you weren't like, I wish I could help them. Yes.
That's all I want to say. Okay.
All right.
I
That's
just
not
want
all
you
I
to
want to say. I'm going to
look.
stay here talking until 5 or the rain starts. This is your major evangelical point of this. The rest is just sort of quiet on the street. Is that right?
I'm just here to serve and to love people.
And tell people that Jesus saves and let them know the truth. That's right. Cool. I'm here to help you know the truth.
Well, we have different opinions.
About what truth is?
There's only one truth.
Okay.
There can only be one truth.
Is that right?
There can only be one truth.
What if there are two truths?
Then that's not true. How is that true?
Because one
There's
truth,
always have to be a false, and there has to be a negative, right?
I don't know.
There's black, and then there's a white. There can't be
A spectrum of gray between them?
There can be a spectrum.
Thank
not,
you.
Not when it comes to truth.
Okay. What about the
Gravity.
truth of whether I'm hungry? Is
Sir,
that?
Okay, let's look at gravity.
Let's look at gravity.
Gravity holds us down. Do you deny that?
No, it seems to hold us down.
Then that's a truth, a foundation of truth. That everybody believes that gravity holds us down.
Sure.
Okay.
That's one truth.
Somebody came up to me and told me, hey, I don't believe in gravity.
Right.
What we're doing is not on the ground, we're actually floating.
Sure.
Then yeah, that would be not true, correct?
I don't know. We'd have to ask them what his evidence was, right? Well, why do you believe that? It depends of whether he's being a sort of
So you're looking for evidence.
whether he's being sort of figurative in the language. What if he's just saying spiritually we're floating? Would that still be
No,
true?
well, he's going to say that he actually is legit, that he believes that.
Cool, excellent.
That
Well, then we'll say-
that his science proves that there's no gravity.
Awesome. Let's
But
check his
that's-
science and what led him to those beliefs. Let's ask him what leads him to believe those things.
I've
Yeah?
checked the other sciences, and I know that God is real.
Have you checked all the sciences?
I have.
Have you checked the Hindu science?
That's not the truth, because
How do you
Jesus-
know? Have you checked the Hindu science?
Because here's the thing, man.
Yeah, okay.
You know why I believe in Jesus?
Yes, I do.
Oh, we still got
Because a miracle happened in your life and you felt something in your heart and you felt like Jesus is real. You felt him. Is that right?
I struggled with addiction. I struggled with things that tormented my mind. And Jesus came in with his love. He set me free. He spoke into my darkness and he lit up that room.
How do you know it was Jesus and not someone pretending to be Jesus?
Because Jesus is the only one who can do that.
Says who?
He did.
Okay.
His word. And I choose to believe that.
Excellent.
Okay?
So
Now-
you
now,
choose to
Mitch.
believe Jesus
Yes.
because he saved you
Yes.
from addiction.
He saved me from many things. Yes.
And so you feel like he's the real God.
Oh, there's two of them.
Okay.
I don't need feelings for
Okay. Okay. So you're not talking about. We're not talking about the Holy Spirit then.
Feelings help.
Okay.
Okay, you clearly know what you're talking about.
Excellent. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay,
Your friend right here does not believe that's true.
Mitch.
I believe you've been rocking it out with Chris Hitchens.
Is that right? Have you been rocking it out with Chris
You just
Hitchens?
remind me of, I like Christopher Hitchens.
Do you? What do you like the most about Christopher Hitchens?
Mostly the way he is nice and you can have a civil conversation with him.
I think that you've not read too much Christopher Hitchens if you think that he's good at having civil conversations. Why does he join the conversation and then leave the
Because he's setting
conversation?
up, man.
Excellent.
We have our thing, we have permits, we have all rights
know.
to be here.
Also,
okay?
so do I. Do you agree?
Yes, but
Thank
it's just
you.
very distracting.
I know. I'm here to
Okay,
talk to
so-
you about what you're
okay,
talking
well,
about.
I'm gonna help them set up.
Excellent. Frank,
because
take all the time you want. I'd like to
have
talk to
your-
publisher.
You have your opinion.
Do you believe in the flat Earth, NASA? Do you believe in the flat Earth?
I'm not gonna debate. Bro,
It's not a debate. It's a conversation. What's the difference between debate and conversation?
bro, just let us set up in peace, please.
I shan't. Thank you, though.
Okay, that's your decision.
Yeah.
We from our end,
Yeah.
we love you, man.
Yeah.
And we want you to know that
Yeah.
we care for you as a person.
I also
But-
love you, and I care for you about people. I'm trying to save you from the cult you're in.
Okay, well,
I love you.
right.
I could be at home sleeping. I came here to save you,
Mitch, all right.
to help you out of this cult. If this cult was stealing your life, would you care? Would you want me to help you? What piece of equipment is that? What's it called? I see you have a audio mixer. Is that correct? What brand do you use? Audio mixer. I promise you I won't be debating you about audio. What if the Hindus are saved from addiction? Should they worship their God? What if they're sure that their God saved them from addiction? Would that be a good reason to worship the Hindu God?
I don't think talking about addiction like that is very nice.
Okay, I'm also a person, as are all these people who struggle with addiction. Do you think that no Hindus have been saved from addiction by their religion?
So Surrey or Sussex?
Neither. Los Angeles.
Sweet. That's not very genuine.
No, it's not very genuine. Neither is your shirt.
I spent lots of time in LA and the UK, so
Excellent. I was raised in the Torrance area. I went to Palos Verdes Peninsula High School for 4 years.
Why do you speak with a British accent?
The same reason that you wear this costume when you come out.
Oh, it's a costume. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Are you wearing a costume?
Okay.
Do you wear that shirt in a business setting, sir?
Every day.
What is your business, sir?
I work in the funeral industry.
Excellent. And you wear a Jesus Saves shirt in the funeral business?
Why not?
Because of how religious it is. And in a business setting, I think you would want to portray a neutral sort of position. Is that right?
What is it?
Did you hear my answer to your question? Oh, I suppose I'm being ignored. Though, you know.
Well, you have to set up. You can't just talk about this.
You have to set
Your
up.
opinion isn't going to change clearly.
Cool, but your opinion is not going to change either.
We
So
can
what's
agree
the
to
point of
disagree.
yeah,
Can
what's the
we?
point
Can
of
we agree to
debating?
disagree? Is that right? How does that work? Can you explain that to me?
Yeah, if you can honor our time, let us set up in that conversation.
I'm letting you set up. I'm not stopping you from set up. You can set up and use your mouth at the same time, can you? No, you're only able to do one thing at a time? I'm sorry, you're limited in that way. I'm not limited, especially with equipment that I have lots of experience with. I have met street preachers on this road that believe the earth is flat. Do you believe that the Bible tells them that the earth is flat? They would take offense to your NASA shirt unless you're wearing it sarcastically, which I suppose you might be. Are you wearing that shirt ironically? Or do you believe that NASA touched the moon like they claimed? What evidence is good evidence to determine whether or not NASA touched the moon? How shall we determine whether or not it's a thing we should believe? The Mormon prophet said that humans will never touch the moon. He said it's not possible. Do you think if we could prove that we touched the moon, that we should be able to disprove Mormonism to Mormons? Do you think that would work? Do you think that conversation would help Mormons leave their false cult? Is there a way that we can help Mormons leave their cult? Do we both agree that Mormons are a false church, yes? Is that right? You guys don't agree with what the Mormons said, and you think that they are not a true church? Oh, are you guys Mormons? I just assumed you're not wearing tags.
Yeah, from here to that means.
What does night watch mean? Is it biblical, night watch? Where did it come from? Some of my street preacher friends, as I say, I've been doing this for 6 years. I've met lots of Christians on this street. Some of them think that what you're doing is sort of evil, using the power of music to make people feel emotion, that you're worshipping a Kundalini spirit. Have you heard of this? They said, don't trust those people, Mitch. They're worshipping a false spirit. How can I tell whether you're worshipping a true Holy Spirit or this Kundalini spirit that they say you are? They say all this youth stuff at the Red Rocks is just tickling the ears, I think they say. And
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you, sir?
Good. Are you with this group?
No, I'm opposing this group.
Oh, wonderful. So this is a permitted event?
Yeah.
So that means that they've reserved this spot. If
Yeah.
you want to counter-protest or be opposed to them,
Yeah.
you're allowed to. You just have to be on the sidewalk.
On the sidewalk?
Yes, sir. Down off of they have this permitted.
For how far permitted?
They have I think they've actually permitted for 2 days.
No, the distance I'm talking about, not
Yeah,
the
so
time.
you see, come here, I'll show you.
So their permit extends to how far?
They have this whole west side.
They have the
so
whole
down
west
to that
side?
staircase, that step or like sidewalk right there.
The bottom of the stairs?
Yes, sir. So past the bottom of the stairs, see that railing? See
Yeah.
how it kind of connects where the grass line is? You're welcome to stand there. And
Would you mind showing me
Yeah, come on down.
the permit? Would you mind showing
I
me
don't have to show you the permit. It's logged and everything with our dispatch.
Do
and with
they
the
have to have the
DPA.
permit to show whether...
No, they don't. It's
So-
already been.
So I can't be here.
No, sir.
Nobody can be here?
If you want to oppose their group, you have to stay on the sidewalk.
Alright, I'm going to oppose that group and just talk to them about what they're
Well,
doing.
you've already told me that you're here to oppose their group.
I know,
so
I'll
you're not
stop
gonna
doing
be,
that.
Yeah, you're not going to be allowed up here.
I'm going to stop opposing them.
You've already identified yourself as an opposition group, so we're going to have to ask you to stay off the property.
I know, but I'm going to stop opposing them. I'm going to stop all the opposition that I'm doing.
Well, that's fine. So we have to ask you to go to the sidewalk now.
Because of who I am and not what I'm doing?
Well, because you've already identified yourself as an opposition group, and so you're going to have to go to that sidewalk right down there.
And I don't have to see a permit for any of this?
No, you don't. But if you don't start moving, going down to there, we are obliged to write you a ticket, and then you can deal with it through the court system now.
Awesome. And how much should the ticket be?
I'd have to go look at it.
Awesome. Alright, I'll take a ticket. And I can stay here if I take a ticket?
No, then we actually escort you off the property.
Oh, I thought you were saying that
No.
I did not understand that it was going to escalate. I thought you were saying that then the courts could
No
take care
matter
of it.
what, at this point, you've identified yourself as opposition. They have this part reserved, so you're not going to be allowed on this property until they're done.
On the entire property, this public space?
This whole west side.
The
they
west
have
side?
this whole west side completely. So you can go on the east side if you want.
Alright.
All right, thank you.
I think that you're infringing on my First Amendment rights. Do you agree?
No, sir, but if you would like to pull a permit.
No, I'd like you to come down here and keep talking. Tell me about pulling that permit. I love that.
Yeah, so what you do is you call DPA. You see this building right
So they
here?
don't have to have the permit on them?
No. You
Okay.
see that permit that building right there? Because we've already discussed this with them. We've worked with
1660?
DPA.
Which building?
Right there, it's called the State Services Building.
This grey one here?
Yes, sir. What you do is you go to room B15. And
This grey one? We are talking about it?
Yes, sir.
D15?
B15.
B15?
So in the basement, room B15, you go to DPA and you can pull a permit and then for whatever you want to come express your First Amendment rights. And what you're doing is then you're reserving this space. So then say
I don't want to reserve the face. I just want to talk to them while they're doing this.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, you came to counter them. They have.
I came to have a conversation with them. I didn't. I don't know what we're defining when we say counter. I want to have a conversation with them about what they're doing. I don't need to identify myself as a counter group. What I want to do is communicate with them as they're doing this.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want to stop what they're doing. I would like to talk to the participants.
So if they want to, they're welcome to come down here and talk to you.
Right.
At this point, they've made it clear that they don't want to have that discussion with you. They want to express their First Amendment rights.
Right. So it seems like, okay, I'm not trying to, okay. So I'm getting confused about two ideas. One of them expressing their First Amendment rights, which you're saying I'm not allowed to interrupt, and I know that I'm not trying to interrupt that. Yeah. And so if counter is stop them from expressing their First Amendment rights, I don't intend to do that. And so that's what I was saying with putting all this away. I just go talk to them like they're people instead of as another group. But and then the other thing that we're talking about is this idea of I'm not trying to stop their First Amendment rights. And then the second thing is, so this whole area becomes like a private space now?
Essentially, so here's the deal. If you go and you pull a permit, say you have a cause, your cause I see in your sign, Jesus Life. If you would like to go pull a permit for Jesus Life.
Right, you're saying I can do what they're doing.
You can do
create
exact
and
same
take
thing.
this space and turn it into like a private space.
And then we'll come on your behalf and say, hey, sorry, you're agitating this group, you're standing opposed to what they're doing. We're
so
going to ask them
if I'm behind this, I can say whatever I want.
Anything you want.
Excellent. So I was trying to be polite up there. I don't have to be polite down here.
No, sir.
Okay.
As long as you don't do anything that's violent, you know what I mean? or that's
Yeah.
going to
Yeah, right. No, I do know what you mean. It's side violence.
You're
correct,
welcome
correct.
to express your First Amendment right just as much as they are.
Cool.
You just have to, because they have the permit today, you have to do it from behind where the grass is.
Yeah.
And then,
Hopefully, if I'm,
you know,
I'm not
if
trying
you're
to.
behind here, you'll be totally good.
Yeah, sure. No, and no, I'll invite them to come down, and then again to the sort of west side, so they own to the middle of that building.
Do you know where their permit is? It for just the west side?
Yeah, these are like the west.
I think they just did west steps, as far as I know. Which means, if you go all the way around the side and you end up going on the east side, you're welcome to go hang out on the east side of the Capitol.
Because this is effectively a private area.
It is reserved for a permitted group. Yes.
Okay. And to like distribute alcohol, they'd have to like put up like
You actually
walls.
pull a permit to distribute alcohol here. Yes, you're correct. If you go do like a permit in the Civic Center for like Taste of the Rockies, those
Gotcha.
kind of things, you have to put up those, I believe, I can't promise you this because that's a Denver city ordinance. We're state police, but my understanding is that they would have to put up a fence line and then the alcohol would have to remain inside that.
Excellent.
So you could do that as
I
well.
appreciate that. And that thing that I was talking about earlier about taking the ticket, I really thought you were saying you'll be ticketed and then the courts
Yeah,
will deal with it.
so
I didn't realize you were saying it was going to escalate after that, just to be
Yeah,
clear
just
about it.
escalate.
Cool. I appreciate your time.
And then, do you have I'm out of cards. Do you have a blank one? I want to make sure you have my information so you know who you're talking to. If we're out of cards, then I'll just write it down for you. Okay. I changed shirts and forgot to switch my cards over.
I feel you, man. I don't have my cards in my pocket today either. I'm in a similar situation.
Where are you from? That accent's awesome.
The accent is fake. I'm from Los Angeles.
Okay.
It's a sort of stage accent.
All right. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about why I contacted you today, this is my name. This is my badge number. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is our dispatch phone number where
Excellent.
you can call with any of those questions or concerns.
I appreciate your patience today.
What's your name?
I'm Mitch.
I'm Charles.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Be safe.
You too.
You as well. Thank
Thank you.
Frank! 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 Come on down! Come here, I'd like to talk to you! Frank, come here! Let's have a conversation, Frank! Come on! I'd like to talk to you, Frank! Come here! Come here, Frank! Frank! I'd like to talk to you, come here! Let's have a conversation! Frank! Let's talk! Frank! Let's have a conversation! Come here! Come down here, Frank! Come here! Frank! Come here, yeah, 5 minutes! Frank, why don't you want to have a conversation with me, Frank? What's that? Do you believe what they believe? If what they're doing is evil, Frank, would you keep doing it? Cool. How do you know it's not evil? Is it? You worship God?
Yes.
What do you believe about God? Do you believe He created good? Do you believe that God created evil as well?
Oh no, I'm not sure.
Okay.
He did more good than he did evil.
And you like to worship a good God? Because you're a good person, is that right? How did you become a good person, Frank?
Since I was 5 years old,
Excellent. Congratulations, that's very
saved a little girl.
cool. I love that. That's a great story. How'd that make you feel?
Happy because she's my wife now.
That's amazing. That's a beautiful story, Frank.
Second grade. One for your girlfriend. After we left high school, we got married.
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful story. How long have you been married?
And we're still together.
That's beautiful. How long have you been married?
35 years.
Oh, congratulations. That was a very long marriage.
And we're still together.
Sounds like a lot of work on the both of your part throughout the years. 35 years worth of work together. That's beautiful. I really like that story, Frank. Thank you for sharing it with me. Frank, I was talking to that man up there. I forgot his name. The one that's behind the keyboard. What was his name again?
That sign here?
No, the one with just the cross and the black shirt up there. I forgot his name. I guess I'm going to have to rewind it and listen. Was it James? Is that right? I don't think so. What does night watch mean? Yeah, what were they doing at that night watch? What was that? I saw it on the schedule.
Night watch?
Yeah, night watch. It was on the event schedule for this event.
Yeah. Oh, night watch is where we keep our eyes out for the homeless people.
Yeah.
And homeless people are handicapped and don't have a place to get around and want to get their hands.
That's cool. Did you go last night?
Yeah.
That's cool. I like that. Did you take any video of that or stream it at all? Okay. Cool. Where can I find that site? Is it mostly on Instagram or is it on YouTube? Are you going to be making music here? What do you play?
I don't play that.
Do you sing?
I sing really.
Did you go to that Worship on the Rocks thing?
No, I didn't go to that one.
Oh, okay. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, I heard that. I missed it.
Oh, okay.
I was on another assignment at that time.
Oh, okay.
I was on another assignment. Because there were two different assignments at the same time on that one.
I believe that's been about 5 minutes, Frank. I don't mean to take too much of your time. I appreciate you coming and talk to me. It's very decent of you. Be safe, be safe. Hey, come on down. Come here. I forgot your name. My apologies. I forgot your name, my man. Come on down. Come here. Black shirt and cross. I'd like to talk to you. Come on down. Black shirt, come on down, I forgot your name. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come on down, let's talk. Let's have a conversation, come here. NASA, come on down. NASA, come here. I'd like to talk to you, sir. Let's have a conversation, sir. Inculcating children is evil. Inculcating your children is an evil thing to do. You shouldn't pass that type of behavior on. You should let it end with you. Let's talk, come here. Let's continue to talk about gravity. You were saying there's only one truth, but I was trying to illustrate that there's more than one truth. There's gravity, also there's light. Do you agree that gravity and light are two separate truths? Was it James? My apologies. What was your name again? I forgot your name. Was it James? I forgot your name, sir. My apologies. I'd like to talk to you about the things that you believe and how they make you an evil person. Blue shirt. Blue shirt, I'd like to talk to you. Hi, I'd like to talk to you, sir. You in the blue shirt. I'd like to hello there. Be careful, they're going to try to get you into their cults. They are a worship service. They're trying to get you into their Jesus cult. Don't fall for it. They'll just take your life away from you. They're liars and hate preachers. Yeah, they're going to tell you that God loves you by how much he hates you. It's very weird. They're going to say if you don't believe exactly like they believe, you're going to go to hell. Do you believe in hell?
Yeah.
You do? Why do you believe in that?
Well, we're going to have a more orderly society.
And does hell is the only way to standardize that?
Well, it's a good motive.
Is it? Or is it an evil motivator? Is a way that an evil God would motivate people is with eternal punishment? Is it a good motivator or evil? Like, I understand that it's effective. Would you use it against your kids? Would you say if you don't do what I say, I'm going to burn you forever?
Jail, you think, it's like if
How is it like jail?
well, if you commit crimes, you go to jail.
Why?
Oh, because crime.
No, that's wrong. You're wrong.
I'm always up for intellectual conversation.
If you commit a murder, we put you in jail so you don't murder anymore. Is that right?
Well, that's the idea.
Right. It's not punishment for the murderers because you're a person who will murder and we don't want that happening. Is that right?
Well, it's a punishment. It's a punishment for that. I think we should go through it.
Yeah. Is that right? What charges?
The problem with that is I'm not a big fan of government choosing who lives and dies.
I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Neither am I a big fan of government choosing who lives or dies. I agree with you.
Yeah. Like Thomas Jefferson said, I'd rather let 1,000 guilty men go free than let one innocent person.
Yeah, I think that
be jailed.
I think that is good math. I think that's correct. So I think that the idea that we would be able to get higher effectiveness of the death penalty is incorrect. Thinking that we can have a better success rate than that is sort of thinking that we are smarter than we are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think those people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th, they should get the death penalty?
No, I don't think the death penalty. Though I do think that we were flirting very close with what is treason, and I think that recently we've been trying to have a conversation about who America is. I think that there are lots of groups that are flirting with treason. Though I think that it really depends. If you think that punishment, what happens after a crime, should punish, or whether it should recuperate the person so that they don't do it again. I'm not sure punitive justice is really effective.
Yeah, we put a lot of money into trying to rehabilitate criminals, and we put a lot of money into the poor people, welfare. And I'm as a business guy, I think of it. I always try to put the most amount of money into my greatest return.
Right.
And I don't understand why we spend so much money trying to help the least productive people.
Do you think that Bezos is productive? Do you think that he's a productive person?
There has to be limits, and that's why there's monopolies and antitrust laws in place. The unfortunate thing is that they're not being used because the corporations have now infiltrated the government.
Yeah, I think the last time they were used effectively is the 30s, right? The antitrust stuff was
bust the trust during what's his name, Teddy Roosevelt.
Right?
Bust the trust back then.
It was an American value back then, right? And then sort of Microsoft.
Back then it was kind of weird because it was like Standard Oil was just doing oil.
Yeah.
Standard Oil wasn't in the battery business, the lumber business, and that's I'm like, that's where monopoly comes into place because you've got all your money through oil, and now just because of money, you're able to take over the lumber industry, and so I'm not one of those people that thinks that there should be a limit on how much someone makes, but there should be a limit to how someone can wield power and influence and control.
How do you feel about a graduated tax rate that the more you make, the more you pay?
I've actually said the opposite.
Yeah?
A regressive tax rate, because most of the rich people don't use the hospital, they have private health insurance.
I see what you're saying.
I'm not saying raise taxes on the poor.
Yeah.
I'm saying let's keep the poor where they're at and let's regress it. That way we encourage people to take it. Because like right now, I got to flirt with this thing with my salary. If I make $10 more in salary, I go up a percentage more, and they take more of my money than if I make less. And it should be a progressive thing, because I'm all right with rich people create jobs.
Why? I understand jobs in a sort of industrial revolution, but why are jobs the commodity anymore? Why are a 40-hour job the standard? Why is that still happening?
We're actually seeing the effects of it right now with people not working. Have you seen how much the cost of goods has become?
Some of them.
Yeah, and the reason is because there's not anybody making those goods, but there are people getting free money and they're making those goods. And
I think that capitalism has failed. Do you agree?
No, capitalism is the greatest system that's ever created. In less than 200 years, we created the greatest nation that's ever existed. It has its problems, don't get me wrong.
We did it with capitalism, or we did that with war?
No, we did it with capitalism.
We did it with the nuclear weapons, is that right? Did capitalism bring us nuclear weapons?
Actually, no, that wasn't that.
Did capitalism have anything to do with the army that we had sent over there?
We should have not fought the Nazis.
I'm asking you if capitalism helped us fight the Nazis.
Well, sure got us a bomb before the fucking Soviets got it.
How did capitalism get us the bomb?
Well, it's very simple. I know how to make a nuclear bomb. I just see.
I know. I just want to know how capitalism helped us move from not knowing it to knowing it.
Well, it spurs innovation. It's like me, for instance.
How did it spur the innovation of nuclear weapons?
Because you want to control the world, you got to have the biggest bombs.
Socialism brought us the nuclear weapons, is what I'm trying to tell you. We taxed people and then we used money to, yes.
Yeah.
A social program developed those weapons.
We didn't have the government working on that. We had independent scientists in Oppenheimer.
Yeah, and where was Oppenheimer working?
Yeah.
Los Alamos, or I'm sorry, White Sands, right? Out there in the...
I believe it's a private company contracted for the government.
Okay,
yeah.
Thank you. And how much was the government paying this private contracting company that only worked for the government, that wasn't technically government? Because
I'm not sure how much, but I would have paid him whatever he asked, because he ended the war.
Did he end the war, or was the war over before we dropped the weapons?
No, it wasn't.
The war in Europe was not over before we dropped the weapons?
The war in the Pacific.
Oh, okay. And were the Japanese looking to surrender before we dropped the weapons? If the Japanese were looking to surrender, would you retract your argument? Would you retract the argument that Oppenheimer won the war?
It's kind of hard to trust someone that told us that we were supposed to go to a meeting to talk about peace and not getting involved in the World War, and then they pull our troops away from this meeting, and then they sneak attack on our Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, we're talking about the end of the war, not the
You
beginning.
can't really trust those chaps. Back then, they're good
Wow!
They're good people now. They're good people.
Oh, wow! Well, we weren't very trustworthy either. Is that?
You know the Japanese can't lie. You know they had like no human rights council.
Did you know that we raped the Japanese women in Tokyo? Did you? Okay, cool. So rape and cannibalism are different. Excellent. So is cannibalism okay in war?
I'm just distracting them so you guys don't get bothered.
You're not distracting me. I'm changing your mind.
Nah, not quite.
No. You don't understand how minds work.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I do. I'm pretty well awake.
Are you?
Yeah.
How do minds work? Does your ghost come in and... Yeah, you believe in heaven and hell, don't you?
Soul.
You're pretty awake, aren't you? Yeah, there's really a soul. You're not believing in childish stuff right there, are you?
28 grams?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
28 grams.
Yeah, and where did you measure those 28 grams?
Yeah. They said that the...
And how does it connect to the brain? Yeah. No, you're a genius. Keep being a genius.
Circulating. And when people die, the blood stops circulating, and all of a sudden that makes
And your theory about the soul is...
Everything has an energy source.
Excellent, thank you.
And that's what the soul is.
Yeah.
It's actually something I'm studying, is how to live forever.
Because that's something you want, right?
No, not really. It's just
no, you don't want to live forever? Oh, okay.
Not in this hellhole, this socialist hellhole we're living right now.
So how would you make it better? What would you do to change this and make it better?
Oh,
you would drop bombs on more Japs?
No, the Japanese aren't a problem right now.
Is that right?
The problem is that we have communist infiltration.
What's wrong with communism?
Oh, let's just see. All the buildings boarding up, all the graffiti everywhere.
Did communism board up these buildings?
People to BLM killed. They killed like over 50 people.
I don't
They
know
even killed
if...
my friend Lee Kellner, and I was 50 yards away from him.
Oh, you were there for that?
Yeah.
Was he trying to get? Was he inciting
no.
violence?
No.
No, he wasn't.
No.
If we watch the
Your
video.
9 News goon
Cool. So what
was
is inciting violence? What is inciting
Oh,
violence?
it's what BLM does.
Oh, okay. So BLM is guilty of this thing, and your
So
friend
BLM
isn't.
is a peaceful protest.
What about that lady who got shot in the Capitol? Was she inciting violence?
Oh, she didn't have a weapon on her. I mean, come on, she's just doing the same thing that
excellent.
BLM
Where do you
was
get your
doing.
information from? Jesus? Does Jesus tell you
Oh,
these
this will
things?
really drive you nuts. Let's
Dude, drive me nuts.
Zero Hedge, Gateway Pundit, InfoWars, PJ Media. We've got, hold on, the list goes on and on and on.
So not Jesus though. I didn't hear Jesus in that list.
Jesus is not going to tell me the current events.
Why not?
Well, he's in the Bible. I mean,
'Cause he's dead?
There actually is. If you read the book of Revelation.
I've read the book of Revelations.
It's very interesting.
Do you believe that the book of Revelation will come true?
Alexandria.
And you love it. You love apocalypse. You're so excited for when your enemies die in fire like the Japs did. You're so excited about that.
You know?
You would drop 2 more nuclear weapons on populated
I would
areas?
probably drop nuclear weapons on anybody that thinks that children should be transgendered and we should let.
Yeah, because you're an evil person.
Yeah.
And Jesus makes you evil. How do you know what evil is? What is your standard of evil? What is your standard of evil? Where do you get
Path
it?
of the righteous
I notice you're not
man
answering my
sets
question
on
anymore.
all
I notice
sides.
you're afraid to answer my questions anymore. Do you know why you're afraid to answer your questions? Do you know why you're afraid to answer my questions? Do you know why? That your fear has kicked in and you no longer answer my questions? Do you know what happened? Yeah. You're afraid to answer my questions. That's why you didn't answer them. Do you know why your fear kicked in and caused you not to answer the question that I asked you?
I don't have fear.
Do you know why your fear kicked in and caused you to answer
Please
questions?
enlighten me.
Because I am challenging the basis of your belief that that your God is a good God, and you don't want that
Well,
challenge.
who's your God?
We could get there later.
Global
Get
warming,
there.
right? Dr. Fauci.
What is a God then? What is a God? I think I don't think
anything
global
you
warming can be any. Oh, anything you worship? I think you're confusing the word God and idol.
Of course. Well, that's what it is.
No, it is
God's
not.
idol.
No. Not if it's the creator, then it's not an idol. You have conflated ideas.
I remember there was this.
You have conflated ideas. Do you understand there's a difference between the creator and an idol? Do you understand that? So let's use creator and let's use idol instead of using the word God. Do you understand? Do you understand what I've just said to you, or are you trying not to understand it? Don't use the word God
It's really hard to
anymore.
understand your mental gymnastics.
Listen to what I'm saying. You use the word God to mean 2 things. So we're not going to use the word God anymore. We're going to use the word idol, and we're going to use the word creator. Yeah,
see.
you're calling that
See,
mental
you're
gymnastics?
playing
So
word
no, this is clarification.
your God
No,
is
you're
global
playing
warming.
word games, trying to
Your
get
God
God to
is
mean
global
2
warming.
things.
Your
You're
God,
playing
you
word
worship
games.
global
What's wrong with
warming.
playing word games? What's wrong with playing word
You're
games?
not actually getting with the substance of the argument.
Cool. So what if you're playing word games? Would you be guilty of
I'm not
that?
playing word games because I know
You are playing word games because what you're trying to do is conflate 2 ideas: idolatry and the creator. And if you're not trying to do that, then you'll.
idolize my Lord and Savior.
No, you cannot idolize the creator. Is that
No,
correct?
no,
Because then he
no.
won't be an idol.
Yeah. With God, yeah.
But then he would not be an idol.
God, so that's not what we're doing, Dr. Fauci.
Or
Put the
Jesus.
mask on,
Or
put the
Jesus.
mask
If
on.
Jesus is a
Put 2
false
masks
god, you
on.
worshipping him would be idolization. Is that correct?
Doesn't work. Do you think I've erected first to kill your relationship?
We're talking about religion.
Well, yes,
Why would we want to change the subject? Because you're trying to avoid talking about what I'm talking about. What am I talking about? He lives? What do you mean by lives?
You lose. I do with everybody. Why did you have an emergency
What's your name?
use authorization?
What's your
Ash
name?
Rendar.
What's your
Why
name?
do we, Ash? First
Come
name
here.
is Ash.
Yellow shirt. Come here. I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk.
Hey, you can talk to me.
I am talking to you. What's your name?
Intellectual challenge.
Let's talk. Come here. Bring your daughter. Come here. I'd like to talk to you and your daughter. Come on down.
That makes me nervous, man. It's not like Joe Biden there. He ain't gonna sniffer.
I don't care if you're nervous. Do you agree that you don't care if I'm nervous, and so I shouldn't care if you're nervous? You telling me your feelings is not going to affect this
for adults to
conversation.
have sex with children? Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yellow shirt.
Ah,
Let's talk.
no answer.
I'd like to talk to you. Is this a theological question? I'd like to talk about theology.
It's a question of moral right and wrong.
Excellent. Where do you get your moral right and wrong?
From the fact that kids aren't supposed to be fucked.
Supposed to be? Where do you get that supposed
You're
to be?
actually supporting this idea.
No, I'm saying that your ideas are poorly thought out. I'm not supporting this idea, and you're thinking that I am is intentionally misunderstanding.
Fucking children.
You are intentionally misunderstanding me, do you
I mean,
agree?
if people with small penises, they might not be able to hit both sides of the
Blue shirt! Blue
So
shirt!
That's why they're praying to children.
Blue shirt, I'd like to talk to you.
Cycle too.
We are talking about how you get. We are talking about how you get your moral standard. NASA, come here, I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to talk to you. Come here, NASA, come here. Are you ready to talk yet?
Seems like you're really trolling a very diverse ethnic group.
And who are you trolling?
You.
Cool. And so you're a troll, yes?
Australia, huh?
No. You're a troll, yes?
No.
Okay.
I'm a person that gets in the way of trolls.
Okay, cool. And so you troll.
Troll master.
Cool. Are you a hypocrite? Yellow shirt.
I can be a hypocrite all I want, though.
Is that right? Does Jesus say you can be a hypocrite? Red shirt, I'd like to talk to you. Red shirt, come here. I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk.
You're a lunatic that thinks it's perfectly okay for adults to fuck children.
Are you calling me a lunatic?
Yeah.
What are you?
I'm a very based person that understands.
Are you a lunatic? Are you a lunatic?
I know pretty much every aspect of it.
Yeah, you're a genius. Hello, I'd like to talk to
You're a
you.
Renaissance man.
Great. I'd like to talk to those people.
Yeah.
Hello there. I'd like to talk to you. Can we talk? Let's talk about religion a little bit. I'd like to save you from the cult you're in.
We love Jesus. Jesus isn't a religion.
Prove it.
He's the Lord and Savior. He's our God.
That's not an argument that Jesus is not a religion. I don't understand.
It's kind of like the same way you guys argue about all your
What guys?
leftist ideas.
You keep calling me.
Socialism
Cool,
will
cool.
work. We just need more money.
Socialism got us the army. Do you agree? The army is socialist. Hey, is that street socialist? Is that street capitalist or socialist? Dash, Rendar. Dash.
Is that it killed 100 million communists.
Is that street socialist or capitalist? Dash Rendar.
It's capitalist.
Is it?
Yes,
Explain
it
to me
is.
how that works.
Free
Explain to
market
me.
businesses like me.
Yes.
pay
Continue.
taxes.
Okay. To who?
And the government.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, we pay a
Continue.
minimum amount.
Minimum
Not a
amount?
majority of our amount.
Excellent, cool.
The problem is that
So,
you socialists have
so
decided to come
we
up with
socially
welfare.
grab that money and tax everybody, and what do we do with those taxes?
Well, we're supposed to only spend them on roads, bridges, schools.
So we're only supposed to be.
Story hours.
We're only supposed to socialize the army.
No.
What were we supposed to socialize? The army, the roads. What else is okay to be socialized? You were giving me a list.
Limited.
Limited socialization. Cool. So let's limit capitalism. Because
Why
we
is
killed
Venezuela
them.
failing?
Because we killed them.
We killed them.
Yes, we,
I don't
America,
think we killed
killed
100 million
them.
communists.
You don't think we did?
Mao Zedong.
Did we? We didn't get involved in that? Were there any CIA agents involved in any of that?
Oh,
Did we help Mao get in power?
We will get on the same side
Did
on
we
one thing.
help Mao
Fuck the
get in
CIA.
power? Did we
I'll
help?
fucking agree
That's
with you
right.
on that.
That's right. And is the CIA
CIA was
capitalist?
good back
Is the
then.
CIA capitalist?
No, they're actually communist Marxists now because they've
Excellent.
taken
No. When they were attacking Venezuela and they were setting up puppet governments in other countries, was that a socialist idea or was that a capitalist idea? Orange shirt.
Venezuela not making as much money under capitalist control.
Because we don't let them. Because we as America don't want our
We have,
interests to be
special
threatened.
forces that are making sure they're not like pulling the oil pump. No, it's because communists and socialists do not work.
No, because we do not allow them to work. Why can't Cuba have cars that are built after the 1960s? Why can't Cuba have cars?
I wonder if
Why can't
they change their
Cuba
policies
have
on
cars?
political persecution.
Yeah.
I wonder if we change our import-export laws.
I wonder if we changed our
Why
policies
can't they build
on.
their socialist country? Why can't they build their own great?
Can you explain to me Guantanamo Bay? Can you explain that to me? Is
I
that
can't
socialism?
explain.
Is that Americanism?
Why we're letting out terrorists from there while
Yeah.
trespassers.
Are you a
in solitary
terrorist?
confinement.
Are you a terrorist?
Oh, according to the
Are you a
US
terrorist?
government now? Yeah.
Are you? Excellent.
Bet your
Thank
ass
you.
I am.
Cool. So you would you don't want to be released from Gitmo? I'd like to talk to you, NASA. NASA, come here. I'd like to talk to you.
Government.
Do you think that all terrorists should belong in Gitmo? Do you believe that all terrorists belong in Gitmo?
Well, most extremists and terrorists.
Are you an extremist? Are you an extremist? I'm asking you if you're an extremist. I'm asking you if you're an extremist. How do you know you're not an extremist? The things that you believe are pretty extreme. Do you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That revelation will come to pass. It's pretty.
I'm a board, having the right to privacy and search and seizure.
I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk. Do you believe that Jesus is coming back? That's a pretty extreme belief.
Seriously speeding it up.
That's a pretty. Come here. Let's talk.
That's why I kind of encourage.
That's a pretty extreme belief, don't you agree? That's pretty extreme to believe that a dead man is going to come back. Do you agree? Do you agree? Do you agree that it's pretty extreme to believe that Jesus is coming back? Do you agree that it's pretty extreme to believe that a man who's been dead for 2,000 years is going to come back soon? Do you think that's an extreme belief?
A man can
Dash!
be a woman.
I'm asking you if that's an extreme belief.
No, it isn't.
Okay, cool. You don't think it's extreme?
Saying a man is a woman.
I haven't said that. I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk. I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk. Dash,
cracks me up.
Dash, you keep giving me beliefs that I haven't stated, and I'm trying to talk to you about the beliefs that you've stated. Cool, and I'm making fun of your hypocrisy. Is there a problem? Is there a problem with hypocrisy?
What happens if I go and bother a BLM protest? Am I allowed to have a nice debate like this, or are they going to finally attack me with fascist tactics?
I don't know why you keep saying I'm those people. Here I am, Dash. I am not saying BLM. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that Jesus lied to you when he said he's going to save you. You want to live forever, Dash? Dash! Do you want to live forever? Are you a lunatic?
I mean, I'm going to live forever.
Have you had your mental health assessed by a professional?
137 IQ.
No, not your IQ, your mental health, Dash. Have you had it assessed by a professional? Do you have a...
You mean the health professionals that are telling you?
I'm asking you if you know if you have a mental illness, Dash. Do you? Cool. So you don't know if you're mentally ill?
I'm not the one that came out and bought a private church.
It's not private.
You know why they have to have church out
It's not
here?
private.
Because the government socialists told them they can't have it in their fucking church.
Dash. You
You're
said this
out
is private?
here causing problems.
Dash.
These Christians aren't doing anything. This is why I say we should bring back the Crusades. Put a sword in every single one of their hands and let's fucking off people like this.
Dash, you're an evil person. You're an evil person, Dash.
Oh, yeah.
Your God made you evil. I can kill you from it. You're evil. Dash.
Not thou shalt not.
Dash, you're evil. You're an evil person.
Okay.
You're an evil person, and your Bible made you that way.
Yeah,
when you stop worshiping it, you'll be less evil. I can help you. Do you want to be evil, Dash?
If this is what evil is, then I'll be Dr. Evil.
You are Dr. Evil, Dash. This is what evil is. People saying, let's put swords in people's hands and start the Crusades again. That's evil.
Because these people have a bunch of sick, demented fucks.
Stop calling me you people. I'm Mitch, Dash. Dash, I'm not saying you people. I'm engaging with the ideas that you've said.
Dash. Say, no, it's fucking wrong to fuck children. That means you are an evil person.
No, it doesn't, Dash. It means I was ignoring your question because it was off topic. It means I was ignoring your question. Yeah, I got you to walk away, didn't I, Dash? Walk away, Dash. Dash away. Bye, Dash. Have fun being not a lunatic. Bye. Good one, Dash. You're a genius. 130 IQ. 130 IQ, Dash. A total genius. Have fun walking away. Bye. See you. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Let's have a conversation. Jesus saves, let's come here. Let's talk. Blue shirt. Yellow shirt, come here, let's talk. Come here, let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Come here, let's talk. I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk, sir. Come here. Come here. Let's talk. Sir, let's talk. Come here. Come here. Yellow hat, come on down. Come here. Let's have a conversation. 5 minutes. Yellow shirt, yellow hat. Come on down. Let's have a conversation. I just would like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Come here. Let's have a conversation. I'd like to have a conversation with you. Hello there. Hello there. I'd like to have a conversation with you. Can we have a conversation for about 5 minutes about the evil that you're doing in this town? Why not? Are you afraid to converse with me? What are you afraid might happen? Do you think I might change your mind? Is that what you're afraid of, or are you afraid that you might change my mind? What is the worst thing to fear in this situation, coward? What you're doing is evil and you know it. That's why you don't want to criticize it with me. Let's talk. Hello there, sir. What's your name, sir? Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Yellow shirt. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Hello there, sir. Hello there, sir. Let's talk. Let's talk. Would you like to talk? Let's talk about morality. Morality, yeah. What?
Value your own morals.
What do you mean?
Morality.
Do I value morality?
Yeah, what's morality to you?
Morality to me?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, I think it's sort of the way that we describe how we treat each other, whether it's sort of like equitable or not. What does it mean to you? What?
Moral, like your moral values about your association, or your moral values about the way you approach yourself in life, or moral values of how you treat yourself.
How you treat yourself, how you treat others as well, I think, is involved in our morality. I think that's right. Do you think that these people know what morality is? What? Where do they get their morality? Shall we talk about religion for about 5 minutes? From shared experiences, where they get the morality? I'm sorry, my friend, I didn't quite hear you. Did you say shared experience? Come here. Come here. Black shirt, come here. Come here. I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Your mother is doing an evil to you. She's treating you in an evil way. She's being unkind to you right now. She's indoctrinating you into a cult. An abusive cult. You're being indoctrinated into a cult. I'd like to help you. I'd like to free you from that cult. Let's talk. Come here. Let's have a conversation. NASA, come on down. Let's talk. NASA, come here. I'd like to talk to you, NASA. Come on down. Hello there. I'd like to talk to you about religion. Can we talk about religion for like 5 minutes? Hello there. Come here. I'd like to talk to you. Let's have a conversation about truth and morality. Come here. I'd like to talk to you for about 5 minutes. Hello there?
You want to have a conversation?
A conversation, yes.
About what?
About truth and morality and good and evil.
Okay.
I think what these people are doing here is evil.
What are they doing?
They're trying to inculcate people into their cult. They're trying to use emotional manipulation to change the way people feel about reality so that they believe in mythology and join their cult.
So what is reality?
This is reality. We're in it, you and I. Is that not a good enough answer?
Well, I think we experience reality through our senses, right? Through sight, touch. hearing.
That is true.
So we don't have. I feel like we have a limited.
Right, but that's not what I was saying. I wasn't saying our understanding of reality is reality. I'm saying this around us, the thing that contains us, is reality.
What they're doing is bad because they're manipulating people into.
They're emotionally manipulating people into believing things that are provably untrue in order to swell their numbers in their cult. And this type of behavior causes people a divide between people, a divide in belief that people can't overcome. And these divides in belief often lead to very negative results. There are false things to believe. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Cool. Believing these false things makes life more, we could call it evil. People who believe false things and enact those false things on this world make this world a worse place to live in. Do you agree?
I don't completely agree because I think you can believe things that are not true but that are good.
Okay, excellent. I'm not trying to deny that. I think that there are false beliefs that might bring good results. And there are false beliefs that bring negative results.
Yes.
Do you think that there might be true beliefs that bring negative results?
I want to say yes.
It seems like there could be, but I can't think of one. I feel very similar. They seem very few and far between. But false beliefs can be good and can bring some very negative results.
Yeah.
Like some people believed that certain humans don't count as humans, and usually a belief like that brings very negative results. And I believe that these people are doing something very similar to that. They're trying to get people to believe in a sort of myth fantasy. And that myth fantasy perpetuates very sort of hateful ideas and dehumanizes very large groups of people.
But I guess I don't know anything about them. What beliefs do they have that dehumanizes other people?
One of their beliefs is that God sanctioned one type of family. Another of their beliefs is that God prefers a certain race over others, though I'm not sure how much they believe that, though I do believe that they believe certain loves don't count. Another of their important beliefs that really helps to degrade this reality and dehumanize people is that there are such a thing as demons going around, and that people like me are demon infested, and the things I'm saying are not in good faith, they're in bad faith, that a demon is lying through me. And that's not true. They've dehumanized me. They don't think that I'm a good faith participant in conversation. They think that I am sent by an opposition to waste their time, which I'm not. I'm trying to communicate with the ideas that they're bringing forward. And so I am dehumanized a couple times. I'm not a straight person, and I'm not of their faith, so they twice sort of dehumanize me.
Right.
as well as sort of true believers in other faiths like the faith of Islam. They're sort of like picking a side in religion is one of the very frictiony parts of the world.
Yeah.
I think if we all were able to say we're all children of the same God and not worry too much about the distinctions, would be a little bit better. But they're saying we need to believe that Jesus lives in order to be correct, and the people who don't believe that kind of deserve punishment for it. So I think that this idea of hell and especially original sin, which I'm not positive how they believe about it, this particular group, but the idea that you are born incorrect and commanded to be correct, I think this is a dehumanizing thought. It might be the human sort of the full human nature, but what they're saying is that the human deserves eternal hell from the beginning. I think that's a very destructive thought. Right. So without even talking about homosexuality, racism, or anything like that, I think saying, especially to your children, who they have, and this is a youth event. This event right here. I'm trying to talk mostly to the adults who have organized it, but it's targeted at about teenagers, and trying to get them to have emotional feelings this weekend and connect those feelings into their belief. Instead of connect those feelings into this city and these communities, they want the feeling to be with the Bible. And so I think the feelings that they're engendering can be good, but they're using them against their children to inculcate them into the Bible, which I think is sort of a negative thing to do to the world. And I'd like to talk to them about it. I appreciate your time. I very much appreciate it.
Yeah, I like talking to people on here.
Me too. I walk up and down the street for about 6 years on the mall, talking to people who preach and opposing them. I put it on YouTube. I'm just out of cards today. But it's called The Dork Shop, like workshop, a dork shop. But you can find a Pastafarian preacher. I'm a Pastafarian. You know the Flying Spaghetti Monster? Have you heard of that?
No.
So we're Pastafarians. There's that word. If you search this on on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. But also here is the YouTube. Here, the Dork Shop.
Okay, the Dork Shop. So what does that word mean?
The Pastafarian?
Yeah.
It's sort of a description of our cult. It's a reference to Rastafarian, but with pasta instead because of the Flying Spaghetti Monster. And the Flying Spaghetti Monster is sort of an illustration of the mysteries that we can't quite understand. What we're trying to say with that is they think they know the answer to some of the questions that are unanswerable. And when we admit that we don't know, it's a stronger position than saying, no, Jesus told us the answers 2,000 years ago. So they think they have an answer to things that cannot be answered, and so we find that to be silly.
Do you feel like all religions are... What's the difference between a religion and a cult?
I believe that the distinction is sort of different for all people. The way that I use the words is the religion is sort of the thing that you believe to bridge the gaps between what you know and what you don't know. The sort of the way that you deal with the mysteries is sort of your religion. A lot of people call that your philosophy as well. It might be. Some people say that you have to have a God belief for it to be a religion. That might be true. A cult, though, I think is a group of people who share rituals. And so I would call this group a cult because they are ritualistically coming out here and having this 2-day sort of thing. And this is a ritual. They did it over at the Red Rocks, and they listen to music, and they stir up emotions in themselves, and humans use rituals to do that. So I think a group that shares rituals can be described as a cult, especially when we're using the very old sense and we're talking about the Roman cults, the mystery cults of there. So I think it's a really useful word, cult, to talk about this group of people, but I think a lot of, especially Christians, just use it as a slur to be like false religion, which I think all religions are false. The religion itself has to confess that in order to understand that. I think a religion believing that it has the answers is one of the very big problems. And I think religions soon tell their people that they should die for the answers, and I think it's very quickly it gets to that point.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because this is a public space, right?
Right.
By the government, so
yeah,
it gets events like this. There's like a connection, or like this should be more like for everybody.
Yeah.
If you're saying that they're dehumanizing specific groups of people.
Well,
that's like pretty wrong.
I think that their book is. I don't think that they have done it yet. I think they are implicitly doing that here today. Also, they have a permit, and so that's why I'm not allowed to cross this line here. And so they've sort of, I agree with you that it's weird that they've taken this whole public space and turned it into like a quasi-private space where I can't go talk to them. This is the sort of level of conversation I'd like to have with them. I'd like to have it right there where they are, but they've been able to use their permit to exclude me to this line, which I think, you know, I am obviously respecting, but I think is unnecessary.
Right.
Yeah. I'm not sure it infringes on my First Amendment rights because I can yell things at them and I can say they're evil, but I don't want to yell. Though they are amplifying their music, and their music is intended to make you feel things.
Right.
And so I believe this is all emotional showmanship, and I like emotional showmanship. That's why I do it in the streets. But I think having your opposition far away is a sort of coward's move.
I will say I didn't know at all that they were like pushing certain ideas. I just heard the music and I'm like, oh, this is pretty chill.
Yeah,
Sit here.
yeah, they're being chill about it. They are starting up this. They're having a prayer circle, but you know they're just implying. They're still being very loud. The sound is loud. They're amplifying their noise and their volume. They're coming out here and saying we have something to say, and then they're pretending like they're whispering. They're not. They're yelling it in the street that our God is true and your God is false. Yeah. They're implying all of that. And they're pretending that they're not being aggressive, and that's the thing that I don't like. I find this to be very aggressive and hateful, saying to all these people that what they believe is wrong. I think that what they believe is just as wrong as what these people believe, and what I believe. I think we're all wrong about what happens. It's one of the important points, is wanting to be right is a want you can never satiate. You'll always be wrong. Like that thing that you were saying about how reality has to go through our senses. We are subject to a relativistic. Yeah. Our perception of reality is relative to what we've perceived, and we all have to deal with that. And I think that the way that they're saying that they've escaped that problem is a false way of escaping the problem. And so I think that's technically evil, but I leave them to define the word evil. I think it is unproductive, and I think that definitely targeting it at your children is cynical. I think if the ideas were strong enough, your children, you should trust that your children would believe them.
So if they were to come down and talk to you,
I would try to have a conversation about like we've had right here.
Like, would you be actively trying to convince them that they're wrong or they're evil?
What I would.
Like, how would you go about it?
That's a good question.
They believe in that strongly. Like, you can imagine them or those kids when they grow up, they're gonna be believing the same stuff.
Yeah.
So like, I think you have to be sort of empathetic too. That's how they grew up.
Yeah. I think there's a guy online called Anthony Magnabosco, and he's very good at it. He does a thing that he calls street epistemology, and the way that he examines beliefs is by is very Socratic, and he tries to keep it at a very low key. And I think he's very good at it. As far as like what's effective at talking people out of these beliefs, I think I think a very Socratic method is useful. And when I am attempting to do that, I sort of try that stuff. But when I'm trying to meet theater with theater, I'm very yelly. Yeah. I'm not usually like inclined to talk to people who are yelling. Yeah.
But you seem
but
kind. You're just like saying that I just want to talk.
Yeah.
I like talking. Let's talk.
Because I think what they're doing is yelling. I think standing in that circle is a very aggressive move. I think these 3 tents with 2 speakers is a very aggressive move. And when I come up and I'm aggressive back, they act like I made the first move. And so I try to illustrate the hypocrisy there. Because as a Pastafarian, I think that there's different ways to talk to different people, and different people hear different things. And I think satirizing bad behavior is a good way of showing the bad behavior what you dislike most about it. I think satire is very communicative, maybe not in the moment, but when we reflect on the ideas, yeah.
You know, I was raised Catholic.
Yeah.
And I would say now I'm not. I see to me I see religion as something that's not real, like you said, but something that if you want to believe in, then like I see, like how I said that we experience reality in a biased way. I feel like our thoughts, our beliefs are the same way. To where if you believe something, then it's real to you, even though it might not be real to me.
If they believe in a heaven and a hell situation, and they're acting their lives, they're acting as if it's true. The decisions they're making are, whether or not it is, it might be, it might not be, but the way they're acting assumes that it is, and so thus they are bringing it into reality. The idea, So when I was raised Mormon, and one of the things that they said a lot was have an eternal perspective. Think about your life after death, and that eternal perspective took my mind away from an earthly perspective. And I am an earthling. Here I am. I exist here. And they were trying to take my perspective away, and I think that was a net negative for the reality. How far removed I was mentally from reality was not a good thing for me or for my participation with this society. And so I think removing themselves into this mythology doesn't help their families, nor does it help this community.
Yeah. I do feel like, as we said before, like there's some false beliefs that are good and some false beliefs that are bad. I obviously said some false beliefs from the Bible and from religions that are bad. But there's also, at least the way I experience religion, I feel like for me, I saw the false beliefs that were good, and like just, you know, want to be kind towards people and not judge them and all that. Even though I did notice a lot of judging in the church, which is what made me like not want to be part of it anymore.
Yeah.
But I wish there was like more of an emphasis on like those good aspects. And to me, religion, at least Christianity, did offer like some. Like, you know, it's a lot of stories that I just say like they're false technologies. But I think there are things that you can learn.
Right. Yeah. And it's the same with the stories of Aesop, right?
Like we learn from stories that are fictional.
Right.
So it's
right. So I've got no problem with that idea that if we read the stories in the Bible and we think about the characters in them, we can make judgments about morality. But I think saying that this is the true book sort of brings it to a place that it can only cause conflict. I think being so confident that there has been one answer is a net negative. I think being more critical of the book would help.
Do you feel like we're moving towards that, or do you feel like...
As a country, I think we are. I do. I think we're behind Europe. I think it's working. And I don't think that our morality has lessened. The idea that everything is, that we are biased, our understanding of morality has that same problem. Is that we each, as moral agents, we all have to understand what we think we mean by morality. Like, we are all doing the math ourselves. Like, it feels like morality is being told to us, but we are the one deciding. That sounds right, that sounds moral, that sounds kind, that sounds evil, that sounds cruel. Morality, our understanding of morality is subjective, and there's no way to escape that. And if we're seeking objective morality, then we should just think of it as a direction we're headed instead of a destination. And I think these people think of it more as a destination that they're going to be. Whereas I'm just trying to be more moral, as far as I understand that. I'm trying to refine my understanding of that. But they're trying to align theirs with the right answer, which is a different way of solving that problem. And what was your name?
Fernando.
Fernando. It's very good to meet you. I'm Mitchell. Again, I do this on YouTube, and I would love to see your comments there.
So what was it? Let me just take a picture, because I'm not going to remember it.
No worries. So that is one of the problems. It is this one right here. Okay. This also brings you to the same place. Both of those.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well. I wish you luck in your journey.
Yeah, I appreciate
to
your patience
spread.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually not from here. I'm visiting from Texas.
Cool.
Yeah.
What part?
Austin.
Okay.
Yeah.
San Antonio is like 3 hours.
It's like an hour and a half.
Okay, so that's where Anthony Macabosco does a lot of his work in San Antonio, and it's street epistemology, it's called, and he does reflect on the question of how do we help people who are in a sort of cognitive bias lock? How do we help them soften it up? How do we soften up those hardened minds?
Yeah.
And he does good work out there.
Yeah, that's good. I think I see what you said with the idea of the destination and rather than direction. Like, I feel like, and like you said, that in religion they think they have the answers.
Right.
So they don't question their beliefs because they're like, this is right.
Right.
I think questioning what we believe in should be something that we're constantly doing.
Right. And they think that shows a lack in faith. They think it's a sin, literally, to question your beliefs. But I think beliefs ought to be derived. I think if something's true, you can always rederive it. You know, you can doubt multiplication all you want. It doesn't take offense. You're not losing faith in multiplication.
Yeah.
You can just rederive it and be like, maybe I don't believe in it. Let me start over. Get back to those things. And so I think that I had to do that. When I quit Mormonism, I realized I have no idea what's good and evil. I only know what they told me. I have to start over with basics. And it felt very frightening because my whole life I had this structure and because of that structure, I knew I was good. And then I was free from it. I was like, how do I know now that I'm good? I have to rederive it every day. I have to every day think to myself, am I good? How do I know? And that's a more honest way of approaching it. Is that just check again every day. Just see, am I a good person? I don't know. How can I tell? And start over again. It's not as frightening as it was the first time. I was like, oh no, I have no center. And then because we live in a relativistic world, you don't need a center. There is no center to the universe, but it feels stable here on the earth.
Nice talking to you.
You as well, Fernando. Thank you very much for your time. Yeah.
I never thought of morality as being something that's subjective, like you said. I know definitely something I think.
Definitely our understanding of it must be subjective just because of the way we're doing it. And the God that created us, if there is such a thing, knew that we had to work with subjective tools. And so this reliance on objectivity might just be nonsense. And
yeah. It's just when everything's subjective and it's like, well, are we ever going to agree on like what's good and what's bad? Or
some things we can agree on. Yeah. Some things we cannot, and we progress those. But I think my point is these people, when they're trying to connect with someone, they put Jesus forward. And when I try to connect with someone, I assume they're not of my belief and that we have to build on something that we have in common, which is probably something like we don't like it when we hear people crying, right? It makes us feel bad inside. And that doesn't come from the Bible. They want to connect through the Bible, but we can connect without it.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Thank you again, Fernando.
Yeah.
Be safe out there.
You too. Bye.
Yellow shirt, I'd like to talk to you. Come down here. Let's talk for like 5 minutes. Hello there. Can I talk to you for about 5 minutes about how what you're doing is evil?
We're on a mission.
I know. Can I talk to you about how your mission is a mission of evil?
Nope.
Why not? What?
You heard me.
No, I didn't. I literally did it.
I said no.
I know. After that, what did you say?
I said no.
No, after that, what did you say? I literally didn't hear you. What you're doing is evil. Do you understand me? I wish that you would stop doing so much evil in this world. I can help you stop being evil. Would you like to stop being evil? Or is evil something you value? Why are you afraid to talk to me, coward? Why do you walk away, coward? I'd like to talk to you. Come on down, you're not standing up anymore, let's talk. Hello there, I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. What these people are doing here is evil. These people are engaged in evil. Do you want to do evil?
What's your name?
My name's Mitch, what's yours?
Mitch?
Yep.
Jace.
Jace. Chase?
Jace with a J.
Jace, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Mitch.
If what these people are doing here is evil, would you want to stop?
If it was evil, yes.
Thank you so much. A lot of people don't even answer that question. They just say what I'm doing is not evil and they continue forward. How do you know what they're doing is not evil?
Well, I don't. But I feel that it's good and I feel that I'm right where I need to be. So
Excellent.
helping out friends.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
What if your friends are doing evil though?
I don't know.
You said you felt that it's good. How do you know if something's good?
That's a good question.
Thank you.
I would say through reasoning, but also through a feeling of peace.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I believe that other groups can have that feeling of peace besides just this group. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think they can come to different sort of terms about what truth is with that feeling of peace. Some people think that the Bible is true and some people think that the Quran is true, and I think that that feeling of peace brings both people to that conclusion.
Yeah.
And so I would like to engage these people with sort of the foundation of truth, and I had 10 people walk by without even engaging with me, and so that makes me feel like they don't want to seek truth. What they want is to have truth and to have had truth. And so I think these people are involved in sort of like a team sport, and I think that this way of engaging in truth is very detrimental. I think they're uncritical of some of their thoughts, and I think that that causes them to be evil. In addition to that, I think that this 2-day weekend sort of thing is intended to inculcate children, and I think that that's a very evil thing to do. I think that we could agree that if Satanists were inculcating their children, that would be an evil thing. I think children should be left alone from this conversation. I don't think that bringing children to a place where they will believe what we say without critical thought is a good to do.
So you think that the evil piece revolves around a cult following of a specific thing?
Yeah, but I think we have different sort of ideas of cult. I think the veneration of the Bible would fulfill that idea. I think saying things like Jesus was a perfect person or Jesus never lied is far enough into the cult to count. Saying that the Bible is you're part of a person who says that would be part of a cult of the Bible.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, have you read the Bible yourself?
I've read the Bible.
Okay.
If it was untrue, should I? I've also read a lot of the Quran. I've read the Book of Mormon, and there's truth in them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. I don't venerate either of them because there's also fiction in them. And if there was fiction in the Bible, I feel I should treat the Bible the same way as those. Do you agree?
I agree with you in some regards for sure. I think that it's great to be educated and knowledgeable on multiple different documents, books, biblical texts, also spiritual texts, and so I think that's great.
How do we know if the Bible is flawed like the Quran or the Book of Mormon is?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know that we can though, really. I think that if you think about it from the sense of like if you took a book written by somebody that was an autobiography, for instance, or even a biography, what would you do to validate that centuries later, even thousands of years later?
It sort of depends what the claims were. If there just was a claim that a man existed and said some things and loved his wife and family, I don't think validating or disproving that would have too much merit.
Okay.
But I think if a person were to say, I am the creator of all reality and I'm here to tell you the one true way, I think that there are sort of easy ways of disproving that.
Okay.
Is there a way to disprove if what Jesus claimed, if he was lying? Is there a way to tell?
It depends what you're asking in the sense of what you believe he was lying about.
That he was different from us?
Okay. I guess I haven't read these scriptures in a way to know them very deeply. I have read them myself for, like a shallow understanding of them, but I can't think of a time when Jesus specifically said that he was different from us.
Okay. So when they asked him in the temple, who are you? And he said, before Abraham was, I am. Some people, that's what he got in trouble for. That's why they killed him, because that's blasphemy. He was saying that he was God, perhaps. That might only be in John. It might be in Matthew. I'm not sure where it comes from. But that sort of might be a claim that he's divine. But though I agree that we can read it. We can read it, especially the first gospel, which is Mark. I don't think there's any divine claims in Mark. I don't think at any point in the book of Mark did the character Jesus ever claim to be different from you or I, another brother like you or I. I think if he is the Son of Man, so are we. I think if there are prophets, so are we. I think if Moses was a prophet, you were. Because I think that feeling that you were talking about, that peace inside, I think that is what everybody is going on. And I think if Moses had the force of personality to say, God is talking to me, I must be a prophet, I think that should give us all the courage to say that God is talking to you, you are a prophet.
And sorry to interrupt you there, I was just curious, how would you discern who's talking to you being God or being some other entity?
That's a very good question. Well, we are assuming other entities. We're assuming that someone can talk to us in the way that God talks to us, through those feelings in our heart. So that feeling is not trustworthy, is what we're saying.
I wouldn't say that it's untrustworthy, but I would say that, yes, there is definitely, in my opinion, I would say even the Bible goes as far as to reinforce this, that there are other entities that can interact with us on the same spiritual level that God does. And
so I think our only hope then to discern whether what we're feeling inside is true is to connect with other people who are also feeling things and communicate with each other. I think it's a very difficult problem to solve, and I think the Creator put that problem inherent into our existence. The problem will always be ongoing. Inside each of our minds is the subjective puzzle. What do I believe morality is, and how do I seek it?
Okay, yeah, I understand that viewpoint for sure. I think the thing I thought of while you said that was when we, if you think back to Genesis, you read Genesis?
I have.
When we took the apple and we became more knowledgeable around what good and evil was. I'm proposing that before that apple was bitten into, that we had no idea, we had no capability of judging what was good and what was evil.
We humans?
Yeah.
Did anybody else?
Only God did, I think.
The angels did not?
Well, perhaps they did. I think specifically mankind, I should say.
Excellent. So, okay. But yeah, they were told, do not eat the apple.
Right, because...
Well, so when you took it, she knew it was wrong.
Well, I think when she
No, before, as she took it and was in the act, before she ate it, it did not confer the knowledge of good and evil. Before she took it, she knew it was an evil act.
Well, I think that she did not know that it was...
She talked to the serpent. She said, God told us not to. And he said, you will not die. She recounted to the serpent the words. She understood the restriction.
Yes.
So before the knowledge of good and evil, she had knowledge of good and evil.
Well,
as did the angels.
For sure. Right. I got you.
So I am okay having a figurative apple there, but if we're talking about literal, then you can't be mad at her because she didn't know it was evil.
Right. No, and
then she said that she did. I believe in the story, the character says, this is the thing I want to do.
I think the important distinction is just that God said, do not eat this apple.
Right.
And then, so that's what Adam and Eve were not going to do. But then the serpent said, well, did God really say, if you eat this, you'll die? Because that's not true. And so I think that the serpent saying that, I can see Eve taking that then as the truth. And then not thinking that it's evil to then disobey God because the serpent said it's okay to eat it. And so then when she eats it,
I see.
she becomes more knowledgeable and then is capable of judging good and evil for herself, which then resulted in, her giving it to her husband and then he ate. So then the first thing they did was judge themselves evil because they were naked, and so they judged that was a shameful thing, and they should hide from God because that made them unworthy because they were naked to be in His presence.
And God was not naked?
Perhaps He was, and I think naked could be an image of openness and freedom, in addition to being actually physically naked.
Yeah,
You know, like,
the way that you are talking about more than the literal story here is how I like to talk about these ideas, because I think that even the Book of Mormon and the Quran can be useful if we don't think of them as literal. I think talking about the morality that these characters engage in is a useful act, but I think if Adam and Eve are merely allegorical and they never existed, I think believing that they are literal is a kind of evil.
that Adam and Eve were.
I think that if Adam and Eve were allegorical merely and not literal, I believe that believing they are literal is an evil thing to do. If and only if they are not literal, is what I'm trying to say. What I'm saying, if being wrong about Adam and Eve is an evil act, it's just as in being wrong about Muhammad is an evil act. Muhammad said that he went into a cave and talked to the creator of all reality. Or the other way, the creator of all reality talked to him through Gabriel. I don't think that happened. I think believing that it happened is an evil thing to do.
Okay.
And so that's what I'm saying about Adam and Eve is, if they didn't exist, believing they existed is evil. Same with the flood. If it never happened, believing it's a true story is overlaying upon reality mythology, and I think that that's an evil thing to do.
Okay. Yeah, I respect that, man.
Thank you.
I think that was kind of the point that I was drawing to from the Apple topic, was that we now have the capacity and the capability to judge good and evil for ourselves.
I believe that the apple is allegorical, and I think that each of us sort of has that moment in our lives when we move from sort of being obedient to what we're told that we should do to making understanding that those decisions are internal to ourselves, that we have an understanding of morality, and we ourselves must commit to that. I think that is allegorical. The apple is a nice allegory for all of our journey to being like, now I am responsible for all of my actions. Instead of just following as I'm told, instead of obeying, I must now take responsibility for what I believe and how far along this discussion of morality I have brought myself. A point where we are our own responsibility instead of we can listen to what we're told and take it at face value, which is sort of the transition that Eve had. That she was believing what she heard, and so when she took it, she sort of had conflicting ideas and was just sort of going on what she heard, and then after she took the apple, understood herself inside that, oh no, I do believe in a good and an evil, and this is what I believe them to be. But I don't believe it really happened. And I think telling people it's important to believe it really happened is unnecessary in a conversation of morality.
Okay.
But I think it's an important step of what is happening here today. That these people say none of these conversations about morality mean anything unless we also agree that this mythology is true. And it's our belief in the mythology that actually saves us. And then, to take it a step further, I believe that this event was organized with children in mind, to sort of make children feel a certain way over these past 2 days, and then connect that feeling into this very one specific mythology, this one specific understanding as well of this mythology, whatever this group believes. And I think that is an evil act, however you do it. I think emotionally manipulating your children and then putting information at the core of their being while you're doing that is very cynical and evil, especially when it's something that is kind of provably false.
I understand where you're coming from, for sure. I think my understanding of this movement that we're doing is more focused on the love that God God has.
I'd like you to join this conversation for about 5 minutes. We've had a very respectful conversation. I don't know why you're afraid to talk to me, Nathan. Do you know why they don't want to talk to me?
I think that it is more pleasant for them to just not engage in a way that they feel that they need to.
So they're here as missionaries and they want it to be pleasant?
Well, I think that the focus, like I was saying, is around delivering the message that.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Loved.
They're not here for a conversation. They're here to deliver a message. They're here to do something. This is not an invite for a social thing.
Well, I'd say it's definitely an invite for a social thing.
No, here I am. I'm inviting them to come down and talk. Two people have taken it. I am inviting.
Right. Definitely.
Thank you.
And I think from our perspective, or I should say, the perspective that we have is more focused on
delivering a message.
Well, no, for having an invitation as well to introduce Jesus.
I've been introduced. We're sort of past the introduction.
Right. Oh, I was just speaking more.
Right. So this is sort of an introduction. I think all these people in America have been introduced to Jesus. It sort of is not a Christian society, but the Christian culture is permeating this society. I think things like the writing on the wall and a lot of phrases and thoughts are biblically derived. I think everybody understands the apple story and the flood story, and not in the way that the Muslims believe it, neither in the way that the Hindus believe it. I think this culture is very sort of Western, though not Christian in nation, Christian in culture. I think everybody's been introduced to this Christ, and I'd like to take it a step further and say I think I can disprove Christ if you would allow me.
I mean, I'm definitely curious to know what your sign is talking about.
It's talking about some of the things that he said are not 100% accurate, and I think that a divine being would not behave that way.
Okay, why is that?
Why do I believe that a divine being would not behave that way?
Yeah.
One of the reasons I believe that is because he claimed to be divine and he said a divine being would not behave that way. That's one of the reasons. But I believe that a God that created good also created evil. I think that a God who takes responsibility for good must also take responsibility for evil. I'm not sure that the Christian God does that. So I have no problem with a God that can lie. I think that the Bible claims that God cannot lie. And so if I can show that in the Bible, that Jesus told a lie, I think it just proves his story.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, I don't think that it's wrong for Jesus to have withheld information.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say that he lied by doing that. Because in my opinion, a being as omnipotent as God withholding information from creatures like us who don't have as much understanding. I think that there's wisdom there.
What is the wisdom of withholding information? Would you withhold information from your children?
I would actually.
What information would you withhold from your children?
I would withhold things.
What types of information? Yeah.
Probably things that would impact their mind at a young age, or that could thwart their understanding too soon into additional fear that they don't need to feel. Like, the realities of the world.
And is that what Jesus was doing?
Withholding information?
Is that why Jesus were those the things that Jesus was withholding?
I would say that if he would withhold information, that
to keep us from fear and so that we don't, right.
So that we can see fear without.
Cool. But if I show him withholding information for not good reasons, would that disprove him? For bad reasons?
I don't know if it would disprove him, like as a historical figure.
No, as a deity. As disprove his claim that he is the one creator of all reality.
Well, that claim, I don't know if that's me.
Excellent. That's a great position. That is I like that position in a Christian. This group is I don't mean to call it names, but is a lot of groups, a motley crew, as it were, of different religions, right? This is or congregations, a lot of churches.
Oh yes, definitely.
So I'm not looking for a homogeny of thought among these people, like I would expect in, say, a group of Mormons or Jehovah's Witnesses, a sort of homogeny of thought. I think that this group, with its wide range of thoughts, is not the worst group I've seen. And you're saying that I'm not sure that Jesus claimed to be divine is a very interesting position that I don't I don't hear a lot. So My apologies if I keep forgetting.
Oh, you're good.
Do you believe that? Did you believe that do you believe that you pre-existed your birth? Do you believe that you pre-existed your conception?
As a spiritual creature, yes, I do. I think that, but in the sense that my belief leads me to. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
Just curious what's happening.
Same, I agree.
But yeah.
Oh man, what is going on?
Something there with this man
Yeah.
in the yellow shirt.
Oh yeah, he just ran like crazy. How's it going, guys?
Well, my name is Mitch.
I'm David.
David, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Jace.
Jace.
Jace with a J.
Oh, Chase. Chase.
Jace with a J.
Pleasure
Oh,
to meet
Jace.
you. And sorry, say your name one more time.
David. My ears, my hearing's not real good.
Same.
Totally understand that.
I used, I've been a carpenter all my life. Power tools.
No, I understand.
Where are you from?
I'm from Los Angeles. The accent is fake.
Oh, Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Where are you from, David?
I'm from Estes Park, Colorado.
Nice.
Excellent.
Picture for this spot.
We are talking about this group and generalized belief in the Bible and things like that. We're talking about Jace's belief, specifically about at the moment when we were distracted. We were talking about whether or not we pre-existed our life here on Earth. And Jace is of the belief, I believe, that we did in a spiritual form. And I was asking that question to sort of discern his understanding of the Jesus figure, and sort of I was going to ask if he did, if you didn't believe you did, if he did, but I assume that you believe that he did, and that if you believe that he did, that if he was the character or the being that was involved in the Old Testament, sort of when angels were sent, were they sent from that person or the person of Jesus, or are they sent from a different person? I'm trying to ascertain your understanding of Jesus as he fits into the Godhead without leading you, the witness, as it were.
Yeah. Well, my understanding is I'd say that it's very difficult to understand the Godhead. At least it has been for me. But my understanding is that God the Father, God the Spirit, and Jesus are all separate entities, but at the same time, they're the same. So I think of it more as like a triangle, where each line of the triangle is, or I should say each point of the triangle is either Jesus, the Father, or the Spirit. They're all connected by lines, but the lines, if you are thinking of it on a piece of paper, the lines would say, is not. So the Father is not Jesus, Jesus is not the Spirit, and the Spirit is not the Father. But the three of them together as one is God. Yeah.
Are you God?
What's that?
Are you as well?
No.
How do you know that you are not in that same position as Jesus?
Because I have no connection to an understanding that I am part of that communion, if that makes sense. And so that's a difficult. I'm having a hard time like coming up with a way to describe how I don't have.
So, but you believe in an inequality between us and Jesus? There's an inequality?
Do I believe that there's an inequality between us and Jesus?
Because there's an equality between us. We're all.
I think only in that Jesus was a man as we are, was without sin.
I believe he's not without sin. If I showed you a sin of Christ, would that disprove it?
It what?
I believe that Jesus is not without sin. If I showed you a sin of Christ, would that disprove that thing that you believe?
Well, you can share what you believe.
No, you misunderstand my question.
So
No, if I showed you something and we agreed that it was a sin, would that be evidence to disprove Jesus?
Not
not advised.
Because what you're sort of
I don't
answering.
know what you have.
Right. See,
It depends on what you have.
that's the point. The question that you seem to be answering is there anything Jesus did that disproves it? And that's not the question I'm asking. The question is, if we saw him sin, would that be proof that that claim that he was sinless was false? Is there a way is it possible to disprove that claim? He made a claim that he was sinless, is that right? I'm not sure Jace has made that claim that Jesus claimed to be divine or sinless. But you have.
Yeah, Jesus said of himself that I am. He referred to himself as I am.
We did bring this up earlier. That's what I said to Jace. Are you?
And he says, if you've seen the Father, or if you've seen me, you have seen the Father.
Did you know?
I and the Father are one.
Do you want to see some weird magic? Did you know that I am? Do you agree that I am?
Some weird magic?
Yeah. Do you agree that I am?
You are you, yes.
Yeah, thank you. Cool. So, was that blasphemy?
That's not blasphemy, but I am in capitals.
Yeah, I am.
You're not I am in capitals.
But I am.
Yes, I am.
I am. Are you? Are you?
I am not.
You are not? Because I am.
Well, that's
Are you?
what you believe.
No. I am.
Well, I am who I am. I am
Excellent.
because of him.
And you are not I am.
Because of him.
Is that right? How do you know that?
I am not the I am.
But you can keep saying I am,
not,
right?
I'm not God.
But I am. I am. And you are not. How do you know you're not?
I'm a created being.
And Jesus is not a created being?
Well, I mean, he is a created being.
Thank you.
But
Jace believes a lot of different things than you, right?
he's created. Sorry, go ahead.
I believe that.
He disagrees with you about that,
in
right?
the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God.
And you believe that?
And the Word was God.
How could we disprove
and the
that?
Word.
You're preaching to me now.
That was being referred to in that scripture is Jesus. Jesus
That's
was
how you
with
take
God
it.
in the beginning. Yeah.
Right. So were you. So were you.
What's that?
So were you.
I am a created being. I was born into this world.
Right. And before that, where were you?
Before that,
Before you were conceived into this world, where were you?
I was in the heart of God. God knew us all before we were born.
Right. And Jesus, that's the same for Jesus. So that's the same for me and Jesus.
Yeah.
Right. Before Abraham was, I am in the heart of God. Is that right?
Yeah, we were all.
So what's the difference then between Jesus and us? What's the difference?
But Jesus was sent to redeem the world.
So were you.
To bring God and man together.
So were we all. So were all of us.
No, just
you
Jesus.
were not sent.
No.
What were you sent here for?
Jesus. I was sent here to. I was sent here to worship and praise and acknowledge God.
And Jesus did all that.
Acknowledge
So
Jesus
Jesus
and to reaffirm that Jesus did die for our sins.
And to help people understand that? Were you sent here to help people understand that?
I was sent here to love people.
Excellent. Cool. I believe that your mission and Jesus' mission are so similar I don't see a difference. I think that
There's a
Jesus...
big difference.
Cool. I keep trying to ask you the big difference and you
There's a big difference.
I keep trying to illustrate that there's no difference.
Jesus was born of a virgin. He was not born, he did not have, he was not born into this world the same way we were.
Yeah, okay.
He was born into this world without sin.
So is us. I was born into this world without sin.
Jesus is the Lord of Lords. Lord, he is the creator of this universe.
Is he?
Jesus is Lord of Lords. He's the King of Kings. Lord of Lords. Praise be to God.
You seem like you're sermonizing instead of engaging me in
No, I'm
conversation.
just pronouncing it.
I know. That's what I said.
Yeah, the truth is
your truth.
it's the truth.
No, it's not. It's your opinion about truth, and you're very wrong. How do you know it's not true? Excellent. What about Mormons and Muslims who know in their heart that they have the truth? What do I say to them? Don't worry, David, right? David's got the truth. Go listen to him. They feel it in their heart.
This is what I believe.
Cool. We are not proclaiming here. We're having a conversation. Will you engage in the conversation? So what you've proclaimed is you believe Jesus is Lord, and that you believe He's the King of Kings, and you believe you're different from Jesus. And I'd like you to illustrate how different you are from Jesus. Did Jesus lie?
I don't need to illustrate. I just.
No, to illustrate the difference.
That's just what I believe. You believe.
Right, but if you don't, then what you're not doing is engaging in conversation. You're just proclaiming to me what you believe.
No, I'm engaging in conversation.
Okay,
That's just
so
my-
then engage in
that's
this part of the conversation. A Mormon feels inside themselves that what they believe is the truth, and they have it. Is it
A lot of
fine?
people believe things.
That's excellent. Do you believe things that are not true?
I have
Excellent.
things that I found out.
Maybe your belief in Jesus is not true. Is that right?
No, that is
How can that be not
my
right?
belief in Jesus.
How do you know that?
So I know it in my heart.
So do Mormons know it in their heart. They would give me the exact same reason to. What do you mean that's fine?
That's fine for them.
So it's fine for you to be wrong
So
about
my,
Jesus.
My prayer is that they would discover the truth.
And their prayer is that you would discover the truth. So how do I discern between them and you? How do I, as a third party, discern who's right, the Mormons or you?
When the Spirit of God comes upon you.
So if I listen to the Mormons and the Spirit of God comes upon me,
Have
should
you
I
ever
follow
asked
the Mormons?
Jesus into your heart?
Yes, I have. If I listen to the Mormons and the Spirit of
did
God,
anything happen
you're,
from that?
I don't know why you're not engaging in this conversation. You're here to proclaim, is that right?
I'm here to share and have
Cool.
a conversation.
Then this is the conversation. There are three types of people who believe the way you feel, among others. You, Mormons, and Mohammedans. They all feel in their heart that they don't believe in their truth. They believe in the truth.
Okay, that's fine.
What do you mean by that's fine? Do you mean that's true? They all believe that?
They believe in what they believe and we believe.
And by that's fine, you mean
But
they're
I believe,
wrong.
I believe that
You-
in my heart
Yes.
that Jesus is who he claims he is,
And how-
that he's alive now. He's not.
What do you mean by alive?
He rose from the dead.
What do you mean by alive?
He was the first to be risen from the dead.
First of all, no, he wasn't. Lazarus was. Can you even get your story straight? Did Lazarus raise from the dead?
Jesus was
Did Lazarus raise from the dead?
raised from the dead.
Did Lazarus
and
raise
to
from the dead?
ascend into heaven.
Oh, okay. So the first to ascend into heaven.
Yes.
Okay.
To be raised from the dead.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a technical.
Yeah, very technical. Yeah, very technical.
But that's what I'm saying.
Right, and it's what you believe.
He's the first of many to come, and
We are the next of many. Here we
gonna
are.
share in that.
And you and I are in the exact same position as Jesus.
In that sense that we are going to ascend into heaven.
All right.
Because of his finished work on that.
Okay.
Because of what he did. He went to the cross.
Okay. Now,
He died for our sins.
but if he lied about anything, then that disproves that he died for our sins. Is that correct? Cool. Right. And so by saying that, you're implying that if he did lie, then everything else he said cannot be trusted. Is that correct?
Is perfect.
So if I showed you something that he did that was less than perfect, would that disprove that he is divine?
You can't show me.
Because you refuse to understand the idea.
No, I
just like a Mormon would refuse to understand. I'd say if I showed you that Joseph Smith was immoral, would that disprove it? And you're like, you can't prove that to me. That's what Mormons
no,
would say.
if you
right?
How can
Do you understand my example of Mormons? Do you understand my example of Mormons? Okay. So Mormons believe that Joseph Smith talked to God the Eternal Father. And if I were to say to them, but if I showed you this despicable thing that Joseph Smith did, that would disprove that he's a prophet, right? They would say, you can't show me anything despicable he did. I wouldn't believe anything. And that's like you and your belief in Jesus. If I did show you a lie, you'd just disbelieve the lie instead of disbelieve Jesus.
I guess if you, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't know how you definitively show me.
By showing you a part where Jesus is definitely lying. I'll show you something out of his mouth that is not true. Would that disprove him? If we found it, why would it depend? Let's do that now. Let's do that now.
Taking that from the Bible.
Let's do that now. Let's define what a lie is so that I can find which parts of the Bible would satisfy your definition of lie. What is the definition of lie? How can we know if Jesus lied? What would he have to do to count as a lie? If he said my name was David, would that be a lie? If Jesus of Nazareth said my name is David,
Your name, I'm sorry.
my name's Mitchell.
Oh, Mitchell.
Yeah.
If you could just share with the scripture.
See, this is the point, is you haven't defined a lie yet. So I don't know which scripture to give you because you haven't told me what a lie of Christ would look like. If Jesus said, my name is David, would that count? Any untruth? Any untruth? Excellent. So, if he said heaven exists and that's not true, would that be a lie? If Jesus said heaven is real and that's not true, would that be a lie? See, he's nodding because he understands the if, and I hope that you engage with the if.
Yeah, if heaven was not real,
excellent.
Jesus said it was real, then that would be
excellent. Excellent.
That would be a falsehood.
Cool. And if Jesus said, I withheld this information on purpose, would that be a falsehood? If he said, I could have given these people more information, but I withheld the information for my own reasons. Yeah, for a reason.
Well, no, that wouldn't.
So there are good reasons to Oh, excellent. And that's how you decide whether you're lying or not? You do it at your own discretion?
Well, let me give you an example out of that.
Something from someone for their good.
For their good?
For their time being.
Yeah, what sort of information could that be? Well, let's think of something, a situation where that might be true. Yeah,
I have an example of something in my own life
right.
that I would withhold information. So if I had a child, and my child was 5 years old, and my child asked me what gay meant, I'm not going to tell my child at 5 years old, gay means two men, two women.
You wouldn't say, do you know how your mom and I are in love with each other? Gay just means boy, boy, go, go.
This isn't, right, that's a different answer.
Is it?
What I'm saying is, I wouldn't tell the really literal truth of what gay is to a 5-year-old. I would withhold some of the detail, some of the truth, to make it more appropriate for their age until they're ready to know what the truth is. I'm not withholding in a lying way.
Is that right?
Because lying goes back to
Are you sure?
Does
it? Is that right?
If
Jesus said I can lie if my motives are pure?
Well, no, I don't.
No.
Okay.
I feel like we're going off of what?
That's right, because we're trying to define lie so that I can show you when Jesus does it. And your definition of lie is Jesus gives the lies at his own discretion.
Holy Spirit, we welcome you.
I'd like to talk to that man.
Holy Spirit, we welcome
that man is afraid to talk to me. Do you know why?
Test 1, 2, hey.
Afraid to talk?
Yeah.
How do you know he's afraid to?
Look at him. How do I know? Because he fears his God. He fears that I'll take his testimony from him if he listens to my word.
Yes.
Well,
but you're not afraid.
I'm curious.
Come on, test 1, 2, hey.
How do you know though that I'm not afraid and that he is?
You're not, because here you are.
But did he tell you?
He told me to stay over here.
The guy with the microphone?
With the man bun with the Jesus Saves shirt called the cops on me, told me to be over here so that I can't have this conversation.
1, 2, hey, 1, 2, 1, 2, hey.
I don't know, you can assume that means he's afraid of me. But I understand.
No. He's afraid that I'll take from him his faith. He's afraid that the words that I talk to him will shake his testimony and foundation.
I can't.
Well, let's ask him.
I can say that I think that just is him not wanting to engage in a conversation.
No,
I don't know.
No, he's not.
But I just think, in my opinion,
I think he's just being.
I think fear is the only motivator here. I think fear is the only motivator. I think you guys misunderstand what love is.
Test 1, 2, hey.
I think for me, I would say I wasn't afraid to engage with you, but I did want to avoid you because it seemed like something that was going to take some time, and I wanted to. But
this is the time that you're here to do. This is what you're here to do. It's not a missionary effort.
Well, no, it's just an outreach. So
I don't know what that means other than missionary.
We're just trying to connect with people.
People.
Correct. Right. Absolutely.
He does not want to connect with me. I'm not invited.
No,
I know. I would like to share my faith with you. Am I allowed to do it back?
Of course.
Excellent. He says I'm not allowed to do it back. I have to stay here. That's what I'm saying. He's afraid that I will do back to him what he's doing to me. But I would like to get back to the definition of untruth and lie. But yeah, he's not down here. I would love for him to come down here. If you invite him down here, I'd like that. Because I would have a conversation just like we're having now. I think there's nothing to be afraid of in a conversation.
No, I don't think that there's anything to be afraid of. But I do think
Well,
it's just a very. You're very intense, and so I.
So are you. So are these people. That is an intense thing to do.
No. Absolutely.
I'm being intense back.
I'm just saying that your intensity comes off in a different way. I think.
No, I think you
that's an opinion
are reading. You have chosen to read my intensity in a different way. It doesn't come off in a different way.
But
your intensity is very aggressive and evil.
Absolutely. Well, okay, absolutely. That our intensity is there.
Aggressive and evil.
Well, so that's an opinion that you're entitled to have.
And your opinion is that I am that.
No, my opinion is that in my perception, I perceive you as intense.
Excellent. And I feel that way about you, and I'm trying to tell that to him, that this intensity and aggression and evil.
I understand, but that you're not entitled to like walk up to people and just say.
In public, I am.
Well, yeah, but if someone doesn't want to hear what you have to say,
they can ignore me, but I don't have to stop talking.
We have the Spirit of God. So the Spirit of God is love, and we love you.
Which God?
We care about you, and we love you.
I love you.
We welcome.
I love all of you.
We welcome everyone.
I am here to care about you people. I'm here to help you.
I can't speak
free you from the cult.
And why he asked you to be down here, but that.
Because he's afraid of what I have to say.
Well, I don't know that.
He's afraid he will lose his testimony if he listens.
That may or may not be, but
let's ask.
The point is that we do care about you.
And my point is I care about you. And I care about your definition of what lie is. And if you see Jesus doing that, will you stop following him? If you see Jesus lying, will you stop following him? Why not? If you see him lying, it disproves his divinity. Why? You haven't answered the question. There are many, many lies in the Bible. One of them is heaven exists. That's not true. Now I'm trying to get your definition of lies so I can find the part in the Bible that you would accept.
So how do you know
I'm not trying to prove heaven doesn't exist. I'm just using it as an illustration of a lie. Now I'm trying to connect into your definition of what a lie is so I can find that.
You can't define that as a lie unless you know for sure that
I'm not trying to prove to you there's no heaven.
But you just said
right, as an illustration.
That's a lie.
It is a lie. I'm not trying to prove that's a lie to you. What I'm trying to prove to you is a lie is something that you first define as a lie, and then I go find it. But you're trying not to define lie as if it's a hard thing to do. It's not.
I've already defined it.
Right. You've defined it as kind of sometimes withholding evidence if you want to, if you're Jesus. That's your definition of lying. It's a kind of weird, slippery definition. Do you think that Mohammedists would agree with that definition of lying? I think withholding any truth is a lie. That's my definition, but I'm not trying to go with my definition. I'm trying to go with yours. So let's put your definition on the table, and then I'll find a verse that is that. Do you understand the argument? Do you understand why I'm waiting for you to define lie?
Intellectually, I understand why.
Excellent.
But
is it not that simple? Because I thought the gospel of Jesus Christ was simple and easy to understand. But it's not that simple. But it's not that simple.
Without sin, never lied.
Okay, but if he did lie, then he's not true. Then he's not without sin. Right? If he did lie, he's not God.
In the Ten Commandments, lying is considered a sin. And the Bible says that Jesus is without sin.
Right. But if we see him disobeying that disproves that claim of the Bible that Jesus is without sin. I don't know your trickery by making lie not be a thing that he possibly can do. Your trickery. Why are you accusing me of trickery?
You can emphasize different words. Like
right.
Jesus,
but if he withholds information, that's not emphasizing anything. That's just lying.
When Jesus was on the cross.
Let's talk about what lies are and are not. Can we just talk about what a lie is and is not? Yes.
He said, surely I tell you this day, you will be with me in paradise.
What if that's a lie?
Now,
what if we can prove it's a lie by what he said later? What if we can prove that's a lie?
Let's emphasize a different word in a completely different meaning.
Yes.
Truly I tell you, this day.
Yeah.
If you emphasize this day, he's just telling you on that particular day.
Sure.
That eventually we will be with him.
Okay.
But if he says, if you emphasize it the other way, truly I tell you, no, I emphasize it this day.
So you're saying you can read it like this. Truly, today I tell you, we will be together in paradise. That's one way to read it. Another way to read it, I tell you truly, today will we be in paradise.
Right,
Different ways to read it. Excellent.
Right.
I'm not going for any of those. What I'm trying to do is get your definition of what untruth would be. What something Jesus could say. Because if Jesus said, my name is John, that would be a lie. Correct?
Alright, so...
Because his name's not John.
We've defined...
I'm trying to get your definition of lie. I'm trying to get you... Your definition, as I understood it, was Jesus can withhold information for whatever reason he wants, and it doesn't count as a lie. Is that correct?
What's the example in the Bible?
No, you just give me a definition of lie. You give me your definition.
You don't have it. You don't have...
You are stalling and not giving me your definition of what untruth is because you are afraid that Jesus did what your definition of untruth
I see
is.
what you're doing.
No, you do not. You are literally trying as hard as you can to not see what I'm doing.
You are...
What am I doing?
Trying to tell me that there's examples in the Bible
Yes.
where Jesus lied.
Yes.
But you won't tell me.
No, I will tell you where they're at.
Where are they?
As soon as you tell me
I already did.
what a lie is. Tell me again. I must have missed it. My sincerest apologies. Tell me again what a lie is.
It's an
and then after...
untruth,
Excellent. Untruth, period.
Yes.
Cool. Mark. Nothing more than that. When did you say that before? Untruth. It's an untruth, period. When did you say that before now?
I've said it.
So, did he? So I have it recorded. This conversation is being recorded. It's going on my YouTube, and I think that you did not say it several times. So what we're going to do now is go to Mark 4:12. Do you have that? Or John 8, or John 18:20. Do you have that? Do you have your book? So now I give you the scriptures, and you're not even going to go look them up.
I'll do that.
You've been asking me for the scriptures. Here they are. Mark 4:12, John 18:20. Excellent. The infallible word of God, you don't carry that with you? Do you know why you don't carry it with you?
You know, you can't
Because
insult me because I
I'm
care
not
about
insulting you. I'm not insulting you. I'm showing you the
Okay.
hypocrisy of your situation. Is that insulting? When did I insult you? Did I call you stupid?
I'm not being...
Did I call you stupid? Did I call you names?
No.
How did I insult you?
My mistake.
Thank you. Are you insulting me by saying that I am wrong about this stuff? When you say Jesus saves, are you insulting me?
So let yeah, that's right.
Why did Jesus talk in parables?
Speaking to those who have ears. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people could hear.
Is that what he said?
But didn't understand.
Why didn't they understand?
So he said to those who had ears to hear. He spoke in parables.
Yes.
He was speaking to the spiritually aware.
Is that right? Is that what he said? If I get him...
That's just what I believe.
Right, but if he
So
said, I speak in parables for another reason, would you leave him?
No.
Okay. So, if what you believe about Jesus is wrong, you're still going to go with Jesus. John 18:20, I think Mark 4:12, I might be wrong about that. If you see Jesus lying, are you going to quit the Bible? If you're reading the book and you're like, this is a lie, the thing he's saying there is a lie, would you quit? If I was reading the Quran and I saw evil being done in that, I think to myself, oh, this book can't be trusted. Hello there, would you like to talk about religion? Excellent. We are talking about sort of what a lie is and whether God can lie. Yeah, do you believe God can lie? Excellent. I believe he can as well. I believe God can lie. My friend here, David, right, does not believe God can lie. And he believes Jesus is God. And if we see Jesus lying, would that disprove that? I will give you an example when you tell me the answer to that question. They are holding the example for me. I've given them 2 examples. If we see Jesus lying, will that disprove Jesus is God? I don't know why you can't. If I asked a Mormon, if I showed them Joseph Smith lying, would that disprove his prophetship? What would they say? So does Jesus. If I showed you Jesus lying, would that prove he was a human being? But if I showed you him lying, would that disprove that? How would you disprove that idea? Is it disprovable? That idea that you have, that Jesus is God, is there evidence that you would accept as disproof of that? Or does that evidence, is there nothing that could do that? And I'm not saying,
Well,
is there something in the Bible that disproves
I can tell
it?
you that I got saved in
How did you know you met God? Does the Spirit of God live in Mormons?
Because I've seen miracles.
Do Mormons see miracles? Do Mormons hear from God? They believe they do. I asked them. They give me a very similar, people who believe things all have a very similar testimony to you. I didn't believe it until I did. And I did because of what I experienced in my life. Mohammedists believe what they believe because of that. Cat Stevens, do you know who he is? Do you know the song Father and Son? Listen to it and you will weep. Is what you're feeling the Holy Ghost? Because he is a Mohammedist. He believes in Muhammad.
Maybe he got saved.
No, now he is a Mohammedist. Now. He was drowning and he reached out to any God that would save him. He reached out to Jesus and he wasn't saved. He reached out to Allah and he was saved. And now he worships Allah because of what he felt in his life, because of the miracles. Should I follow Cat Stevens and his personal experiences?
I think you just want to argue.
No, I don't. I want to explain to you that the reasons that you're giving me, the things that you believe, are very similar to the reasons that other people who believe very different things from you give me. Between the two of you, who should I trust? Which word of God? How do you know that's the word of God?
Because I have had experience with God.
People have had experiences with God through the Book of Mormon. People believe that the Book of Mormon confirms itself through the centuries. What I'm trying to illustrate to you is when I ask you why you believe what you believe, you give me a list of arguments. And when I ask you, okay, I don't mean to say argument, I mean to say experiences, you give me a list of experiences. When I say to you, when I ask a Mohammedist or a Mormon why they believe what they believe, they also give me a list of experiences. Now, which among those groups should I trust? I have, but you don't trust what I've figured out, is that right? I have figured it out.
That doesn't really matter.
This
What
is
matters is we individually have to answer to God
right.
what we believe.
Right, and what you believe is that God is divine. And if you're wrong about that, it's an evil belief. Do you agree? Why not? Do you understand the question? If some people believe that the Quran is holy, and if they're wrong about that, it's an evil belief. Yeah? So does the Bible.
How does the Bible? I'm just curious how.
Bring my enemies here before me and kill them in front of me. Who said those words? Who said those words? Bring my enemies before me and kill me. Did you have either of those scriptures? I noticed.
Which one is it?
I want to hear it.
No. Jesus said it with his mouth.
Which scripture is that?
I don't know. Cool. I want to get back on the idea though that we each have our own subjective experiences and they've caused us. Which God? You cannot, he's dead. I can prove it to you if you're not too busy taking photographs. If you would like to talk about this important thing instead of taking photographs. What do you mean by alive? Is Elvis alive?
His spirit dwells within us.
Does Elvis's spirit dwell within me?
Jesus' spirit dwells.
Does Elvis's spirit?
That's what's reaching out to you.
Why won't you answer my question? Does Elvis's spirit live within me?
How can he answer that? He doesn't know.
If I were to, how then do we know then that Jesus is? How do you know that?
Because I love people that
I also love people. Does Jesus' spirit live in me?
I have a love for people that
I have a love for people that is stronger than anything you can understand.
I can't really.
Your
I can't
love for
understand
people
why I
is
would love
childish
somebody that I
and
don't even
false
know.
and based on mythology and fantasy. Your love for people is like a Santa Claus's love. My love is real and genuine and not coerced. I love in a way that people like you cannot understand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Does that feel pretty condescending?
No,
because you were doing it to me. You were saying that exact same thing to me. Do you agree? I just said back to you what you were saying.
How you would think.
Yeah. So should I not take it that way? Because what? Because your love is pure and good?
I'm just trying to share.
Yeah,
I believe
but
with
what
you.
you're not trying to do is answer my question. Will you allow me to share my belief with you.
I just
what you
want
don't want is for me to treat you the way you're treating me.
I apologize. I'm sorry.
For what?
If I offended you.
You did.
Oh, well, I apologize.
Cool.
It was not my intention.
This tent offends me. Do you know why this tent offends me? I can explain it to you. Do you care why this tent offends me? Or you're just going to tell me to not be offended?
That's not the bigger question.
Yes.
The
bigger question is what is a lie?
I care about you.
I care about you.
Not necessarily what you're offended by necessarily, but I care about you.
I care about you as well. I care about you as a real, actual human.
That's the important.
Is that important, or is what important is what
it
is
is
lying?
Because we all.
Or is what important is the Bible holy? That's right. And I'm offended when people say the Bible is holy when it's not. Hello there. Hello there. Come here, please. I have converted someone to my faith while I've been here. I have converted someone to Rastafarianism while I've been here. I'm more effective than this whole group of people. Hello there. Hello. My name is Mitchell. This is Jace. And this is David. We're talking about religion. Would you like to talk about religion for about 5 minutes? You're wrong about the Bible. You're wrong about Jesus. Is it important?
Mitchell.
Hello. You as well. My name is Mitchell. Again, this is Jace. This is David. We're talking about truth and morality and love. These people believe that Jesus is perfect. And I was asking them if they saw Jesus lie, if that would disprove that idea. And that's sort of this conversation that we're having about Jesus. And I invite you to join it because we're trying to invite all these people here to have these very serious conversations.
It's very interesting, actually.
Yeah.
I love it.
Do you believe that that seeing Jesus tell a lie would disprove any claims that he was divine?
I mean, how would you define divine?
Jace and David define it differently, and the way I define it is immaterial because the people I'm trying to communicate with are Jace and David, and the two of you. So I would ask you to define it yourself. I wouldn't want to impose a definition, because some people don't believe that Jesus said he was divine, and some people do. And with those people who say that he is pure and perfect and cannot do evil, I'm asking what sort of idea would disprove that belief? How a person would be disaffected of that belief, if at all?
I feel like with the description of Jesus, he's defined as something that's all perfect and he could do no wrong, and a lie would be a representation of dishonesty and deceit, and so that would disprove a lot of what he stood for.
Excellent. And what is a lie?
Lie is not expressing what you know to the fullest extent.
Perfect. And so I was asking my friend David that if he saw that in the Bible, would that disprove it? And he said he wouldn't even get me that far until finally when he said, any untruth period. Is that right? Any untruth period is a lie? And then I said, well, Jesus did do that, in fact, in John 18:20, and I think in Mark 4:12 as well. And so I'm trying to prove that the claim that Jesus is perfect does not stand up to the evidence. Mark 4:12. Just for fun? Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it.
How did he lie?
Many ways. One of the things that he lied about is heaven. There's no such place. One of the things that he lied about is being able to save you. He cannot. One of the things he lied about is coming back. He's not. One of the things he lied about is what his true gospel was. He lied about where he spoke his gospel. He lied about who he was. He lied about history, about Adam and Eve, the actuality of Adam and Eve and the flood of Noah, and the reality of Abraham and Moses. He lied about his relationship to you and I when he said that he was between you and your creator. He's not. There's nothing between you and your creator. He lied when he said there will be no more prophets, if in fact he said that. And he lied to people in parable. and said, I talk in parable, so people don't understand what I'm talking about. And here in private, I tell you, my disciples, the secrets you need to decode my parables. He kept his truth secret in public and gave it to his disciples in private. And that is a lie.
What was that verse?
Mark 4:12, I believe. I might be wrong about this one. This is the one I'm not sure about. 18:20, John 18:20 is correct.
I think to an extent, though, it's an interesting fallacy where if you believe in Jesus, then you will believe his word. However, if you don't believe in Jesus, then you will say, oh, well, God doesn't exist. So, therefore, yes.
No, I don't say that God does not exist. I just say Jesus is not God. Right.
How do you know that he was lying about who he was?
How do I know that he was lying about who he was? Is because before I know that, I know he's not divine. So I know he's not divine, and then he claims he is, and so I know that's true. So that's how I know. But how do I know he's not divine? Is because of that thing where he withheld information from people intentionally, and then told his disciples that he did, and that he did it intentionally.
I've never heard that argument before. That's actually interesting.
So, do you know why he spoke in parables? My friend here says that he spoke in parables because he was speaking to the elect, and so the people that could understand it and discern it would understand it. But as he spoke in those parables, the disciples
who had ears that were spiritually
right, and
awake.
Did the disciples understand it when they heard it?
I don't know. Some people
they did not.
Some people did.
No, the disciples in fact did not. No people did. They went into another room, and the disciples asked him, "What were those parables about?" And he said, "Oh, you don't understand."
But I don't.
And so he said, let me give you the key. The kingdom of heaven is the map.
That's your definition of lying. He was lying when he spoke in parables.
No, he says he spoke in parables to withhold information. And your definition of lying is anything less than the truth. Period.
Okay.
So you're going to hold him up to that standard? Are you going to hold Jesus to that standard? Anything less than truth. Period. Oh. So you're going to hold yourself to a different standard than Jesus holds himself to. Excellent. So there's a double standard. Yeah, excellent. So you believe in double standard.
You're right.
So what you're doing here is facetious, correct?
No, I'm just...
No, the thing that you just did was facetious. Yes.
Well,
David?
I apologize,
then why did you do it, David? We already talked about condescending to each other, and then you condescended to me again. And we already talked about how you were apologizing
I
for
still,
it. So,
I still
now,
am in need of...
if God,
I'm still being confined.
Right, I'm trying to help you. I came out here to help you. So if Jesus was withholding truth, so that they don't go to heaven, was he lying to them? Because if they heard it, they believe, and believing be.
So are you from here then?
Yeah, I'm from around
Mark 4:12. Did you pull it up?
We go to University of York together, so...
What do you mean by life? You're giving me your testimony. This is not conversation. I love this.
I enjoy it.
He wants you to be part of that.
Jesus is not coming back. He lied to you.
Your name is written in the book of life, and you don't know.
You're going to die. That's the end of you.
You're going to.
And I'm sorry.
You're going to get
sad about that.
You are going to.
You don't get to just wish it's not true. You have to be a man.
I can already see
and grow up.
One of my friends asked
you're going to become a Christian.
You're preaching.
You are.
You're
hanging out, and
you're that. You're.
Then make me.
That's why you're.
Do you know what would make me be a Christian?
No, I just think
if what he said was true, I would
really.
have to be.
I think you're really close. That's why you're here.
I think we talked to
You're
his name
here
for so bad. Talk to
Jesus
someone.
is reaching out to you.
I don't think he gave us.
No, David, I'm here because I'm reaching out to you.
So yeah, it sounds like you're
I'm here because I am reaching out. And I am. Do you agree that I am, David? Well, you're wrong, because I definitely am. Are you?
We got here last night, so
what would be proof enough for you that you are?
The song. We've been here the entire time for that.
Yeah, you brought the London vibe.
What are your other signs?
This one says, "Please join my cult." I have a small cult here in this city. This is a representation of my movement.
What does FSM stand?
Stands for Flying Spaghetti Monster. It's the answer to the question, what created reality? This lets people know that they need help in their life. A teacher, as it were. This is just sort of the thing I tried once. It didn't really work. In here, I've got religious arguments for only $1, which I'm not charging you for. You're welcome. And just sort of back it.
Mitchell, I'm going to go back up to my son.
Cool. And if you see Jesus lying, will you stop believing in it? Well, then you're evil.
I love you.
Yeah. If you see Jesus lying, will you stop believing in it?
Would I be able to see it happen?
If you were reading a story about Jesus and he was in the story he was lying, would you stop believing in him? Or would you just think the story's not true?
I just think he's more human and at that point he seems to be more of a prophet.
As are you. You are a prophet. Do you agree? You're a prophet just like Jesus and Moses and Abraham. You're a prophet. God talks to you, yeah? Thank you. And you are a prophet, as we all are. Saying the end of the prophets is untrue. The New Testament sort of idea that prophets are over is incorrect. We are all prophets.
Well, prophets defined as a mouthpiece of God.
Yeah, and we all are.
Just do a time
I wouldn't say I think that, but
over the state of Colorado.
I mean, you're entitled to that.
Because we all speak to God. God speaks to us in our hearts. And then we communicate that outside of ourselves. And that is prophecy. That is what prophets do. Also, prophet can mean poet. In the Old Testament, there's no word for poet, even though there's poetry. Because every time they had the word poet, they translate it as prophet. Are you a poet?
If you hang in there with it, man, it brings so much joy, so much life.
You are then a prophet by that definition as well.
Just hang out tight for a minute and we'll get going.
We are all prophets of God. And we have truer prophets now than we had in the past. Holding on to 2,000-year-old prophets is not moving forward. Did you see the problem that I had with David? That he wouldn't define lie, and then kept saying it was my problem. I'm saying I can't tell you what a lie would be unless you told me what a lie is. And then he finally said anything less than truth, period. And then I showed him anything less than truth, and he doesn't care. In John 18, he says to the high priest, everything I've said in public. Nothing that I preach have I preached in secret. Yet the night before, he told new doctrines in an upper room with just his disciples, not in the temple, not in the synagogue. He lied to the high priest. In Mark 4:12, he said specifically that the reason that he teaches in parables is because if he doesn't, people will hear him and understand him and be saved. And he is talking in parables to stymie that. That's a lie. Jesus lied. And I'm sorry, but he lied to you, and he's not going to save you. My apologies.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your thoughts, man, and I'm just grateful to...
Right, but what I want to know is, if you see him lying, will you quit?
No, probably not.
I know, because you're evil. And God made you that way, or your book made you that way.
Okay.
That's what the Bible does.
I don't believe...
If I talk to a Mohammedist and I say, if I show you this is evil, will you quit? They'll say no with that self-righteous conviction that you just had.
I don't consider it self-righteous conviction.
Were you righteous to say no?
I wouldn't say righteous to say no.
Then evil to say no?
I wouldn't say that either. I say no because, I mean, I'm not going to actually answer your question.
I know, because you don't, because you fear that I can talk you out of your problem.
Well, no, it's because I feel something in you.
You don't feel trusting in me? What have I lied to you?
You said that you love more than...
I do love more.
But
because you love for reward. And you love for an eternal thing. And you love because you're told to. Who told me to love you? Who told me to love you? Then it's uncoerced. My love for you is genuine and mine. You love because you are obedient. It's not love, it's obedience.
I do not feel loved by you, though, is what I'm saying. That's
do you think I feel loved by you?
No, probably not.
Do you think that I feel like this is love?
Probably not.
Am I wrong about that?
No, that's 100% something you're...
Do you love me?
Yes.
Is this an expression of your love? Do I love you by being here? Is this an expression of my love? And yet you don't feel it. So you're wrong about how much I love you.
Well, love doesn't have to be received.
I know, and you're not receiving my love. You're rejecting me.
Well, I don't feel that there is love to be received.
And you've chosen me. I've shown you that there isn't.
Then the same is true from me to you.
That's what I've been trying to illustrate. Yes, that's why I pointed at to show you how fallacious your statement saying I don't feel loved by you, so you must not be loving me. I'm saying that this does not feel love to me, so you must not be loving me. I was illustrating the fallaciousness of your art.
I understand that. I just meant.
So you're saying I don't feel love from you, but that's a thing you've chosen.
Right. Well, and to clarify, I didn't mean to
diminish my love.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not saying you don't love.
Thank you.
I was just saying that the love that you say that you're giving, I don't feel that in the way that I would understand love. So.
Yeah, but the way you understand love is filtered through an evil book. Through an evil God who lies.
Well, again, I appreciate your time, man.
I appreciate yours as well, and I appreciate your commitment to this conversation. You've been here a lot longer than a lot of people. And I also appreciate that you are accepting the things that I'm saying in good faith. Whereas David started to preach to me at the end, and he said things like, look, man, all I know is Jesus loves you. And that's how a lot of people disengage from me, and I appreciate that you haven't done it. And Jace, I appreciate your time, and you don't have to be here with me anymore to prove that you love me, or for any reason. If you do want to give your testimony, you may. I'll give you my testimony back, and I think that you'll find it to be different than how you think yours ought to be received. I appreciate your time and your reciprocation of what I'm trying to do.
I enjoy chatting with people and getting to know them. So.
I think that this, especially with these kids here, is abusive and emotionally manipulative. I think what we're doing, especially now that the kids are here, is evil. That's how I feel about you people. You're evil people, doing evil in front of me.
Over our city and
I'm respectfully talking to you
over the
about
state of Colorado.
Thank you for doing it
And
that way.
so if you guys would just engage the Lord with me, if you would just come into a place of intercession with me for a minute, because I believe that God's going to release something right now.
I agree. I think you also need it. I appreciate your time.
Anticipation in my
and Mitchell, it was really great chatting with you.
You as well, Jace. Be safe. You can check out this conversation on YouTube. I'm going to put it there. And we can continue this conversation in the comments if you like. Also, I'm down here at the mall quite often. Come down and see me.
What is your YouTube?
It is right here.
Hands to heaven.
Okay.
Holy
Just like that?
Spirit,
Yeah.
come.
Capitals on those?
Capitals doesn't really matter.
Spirit,
Also, this
dwell.
will get you there, theonetruecult.com.
Okay.
Holy Spirit.
If you want to take a photo with your phone, that's cool.
Oh yeah, good idea.
I usually have handouts, I've just left them today. I appreciate
So
it.
we ask for your presence to come.
I appreciate your good faith conversation.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. I hope they have a great weekend, by the way.
I will. And this is. I'm glad to have found you. I almost missed you guys yesterday. I didn't even notice you guys here, and then I saw you'll be here another day. I'm glad to be here. I believe the weather will start up again in a couple hours here, and we'll be out.
Hopefully we don't get too drenched.
If what we're doing here is building community, I like it. If what we're doing is worshipping a book, I think you're worshipping an idol.
Come home!
Be safe.
Yeah, you too, man. Take care.
Take care.
It's time to come home! We declare over Denver that you will be a city known as the Lost City.
NASA!
Coming home.
NASA!
You will come home to the Father in the high places.
Beardo!
And anyone.
Blue shirt!
Stretch of my
Hello there.
voice.
Can I talk to
speak
you for about 5
everyone in the
minutes?
park.
I'd like to talk to you as well. I'd like to respond, please. I would like to respond to what you're.
To be free, it's time.
I would like to talk to you about how you're a slave to that book.
To get saved, He bought you with the price.
I would like to save you from that evil book.
Come. It's time to come. It's time to come. Come to the Capitol. Do not be intimidated. We break off any fear right now in the name of Jesus. And we say it's time to come. We speak for every well of revival to come forth right now in the name of Jesus. Let it burst forth like a geyser, Jesus.
I would like to talk to you.
With us, God.
I would like to respond to the things that you're saying.
Yes, God.
I would like to. Hello there. Come here. I'd like to talk to you. Can I talk to you for about 5 minutes? Hello there. I'd like to talk to you. 16. 16.
Trauma
16.
Shootings.
16. I'd like to talk to you. Hello there. White shoes. I'd like to talk to you. Hello. Come here. I'd like to talk to you. Can we talk for about 5 minutes? Let's talk for about 5 minutes. Hello there. Would you like to talk for about 5 minutes? Hello. Come here. Let's have a conversation for about 5 minutes.
Our God. Jesus, we invite you. You are the standard that we look to. You are the banner that we look to. We raise the standard in the
Hello there,
spirit.
sir. How are you?
Yes, you can have it
I
now.
believe that what's being done here is evil.
You can have our state.
I believe that what's being done here is evil. How do you know?
Angel to come right now. Every angel.
How do you know it's not evil?
Been commissioned for this assignment.
He died on the cross for our sins. How could it be
into our city to be able to.
That's a good question. I guess if what he said was a lie, then that would make it evil. Is that right?
Now in the name of Jesus.
Okay, but if what he said was a lie,
Lord, we thank
not
you for
not
repentance,
did
Lord,
what he
bring
say
the
be a lie.
conviction
I'm
of
saying
sins.
if it was a lie, would that make it evil?
Lord, I thank you for the Charles Finney anointing. Lord.
Let's talk about Muslims. You know Muslims? Because they believe that the Quran is true, right? And they like to support it in ways like this, the Quran. But in supporting the Quran, they're doing evil. Do you agree? Because the Quran is not true. Do you understand? Hello there, my name's Mitch. Not much. Are you over 18?
Yes.
I think that what is happening here is evil.
He loves you, Denver.
I think that the Bible is not holy.
He loves you.
If the Bible's not holy, is worshipping it an evil act? If the Bible is not holy, is preaching it an evil act?
Over our city
We believe the Bible is holy.
Right. But if you're wrong about that, would be preaching it, would it be evil?
Well, if we're wrong about that, then it is what it is.
What do you mean?
It is what it is.
Well, what is it? If you're wrong about it, what is it?
We just die, we go to the grave. So we believe
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Quran. Do you believe in the Quran?
Well, my mom was Muslim.
Excellent. And she believed it was true?
Well, she was taught that it was true.
Let's talk about the people that taught her that. And they probably believed it. The people that taught her that the Quran is true?
Sure.
And they were wrong, right?
I would say that they were wrong.
And so would preaching the Quran be an evil act, even if you believe it's true?
No.
Why not? It's an evil book, isn't it?
No, I don't think we've ever said it's an evil book.
You don't think the Quran's an evil book? Are you sure?
I mean,
how would we know if the Quran is evil? What's good evidence for the evilness of a Quran? No, I know. I'm how can we know whether or not it is?
I'd say.
Say again?
What its principles are.
Excellent. Excellent. And so, if we were to look at the principles of the Bible and determine that they were evil, would that prove that the Bible's evil?
Who decides that?
What?
Who decides that?
Well, we would decide, the same way we decide if the Quran is evil. We would be the decision makers in that.
Well, you're the one who decided that. We haven't decided that.
You haven't decided that. Is the Quran holy?
Yeah, we would say it's holy.
Holy, the Quran?
Yeah.
No.
And I want to make a declaration over Denver.
I've been asking whether we can believe that the Quran is holy, and my friend here just said that the Quran is holy. Do you agree that the Quran is holy?
Would be broken. And Father,
is that right? What about the Book of Mormon? Is that as holy as the Bible?
To join older with younger.
But not the Quran.
Lord, the younger
Why not the
can't
Quran?
do it without the older. And the older can't do it without the younger.
Bible
so we break now the generation gap.
I'm Mitch, yeah.
What's the end goal of the conversation? Do you have a purpose?
To talk to you about how evil what you're doing.
Oh, you're saying this?
Of the wall between the
well, the purpose is to have this conversation.
The purpose is to show us that what we're doing is evil.
The purpose is to have a conversation about how we would know whether what you're doing is evil. Hello there, my name is Mitchell. Why are you having... That guy's an adult. He's an 18-year-old person. Hello there, can I talk to you for about 5 minutes?
And the kids
was I doing anything unkind or evil? So do you think that this person is doing God's will? Hello there, I'd like to talk to you. Yeah, are you afraid of having a conversation with me?
Not me.
Excellent, but you're afraid of those kids having conversations?
Yeah.
You're afraid that those kids have having conversations?
Because Jesus
you're
is
afraid?
king. Yeah. That's
I'd
right,
like
Jesus is king.
What's your name?
You can do that to those little kids, but you can't do it to me,
I am doing it to you.
No,
I'm
you're
doing it
not.
to you right now.
I love you, brother.
I love you too. I came down here to love you, friend. What's your name? Joseph, let's talk for about 5 minutes. Why won't Joseph talk to me? Why doesn't he believe that I love him? I think that Joseph's being a hypocrite. Hello, Joseph, let's talk for 5 minutes. Joseph, I believe what you're doing is evil. Do you understand what I've just said? Joseph, do you understand what I've just said? Joseph, do you understand what I've just said? Or are you ignoring what I've just said? Joseph, did you engage with my words or did you ignore my words? What is the value of ignoring me? I don't think you lost anything by having a conversation with me, do you? Hello there, what's that? Nice. What were you saying? It's ridiculous. I've never been that fit. That is intense.
Hey, bro.
That's nice. Why are you telling him what to do? Why are you being so mean to him? Joseph! Do you think it's cool to prey on little kids, Joseph? Is that not what you're doing here today, Joseph? Why did you bring all these little kids here today, Joseph? Are you trying to make them feel things inside? Prey on little kids? Is that what we're talking about, Joseph? Who's preying on little kids here, Joseph? You or I? How many kids did you bring here, Joseph? Are you preying on little kids today, Joseph?
Right, sir. Here's your thing, Terry.
I'm talking to Joseph.
I'm talking to you like a man for a second.
No, you are.
Hey, sir, you're actually doing something that isn't cool on any level, at any belief system.
Sir, please go fuck yourself. What I'm doing is way cool in the First Amendment. I'm right here behind the line where I'm supposed to be, and what Joseph is doing is evil. Yeah, come on down, Joseph. Come on down, coward. Let's talk. You fucking child. Dude, look, I'm just trying to mirror what's been given to me, and that was a lot of aggression, wasn't it? Look, I'm trying to be here, have a respectful conversation, and Joseph comes in with all this aggression, and then number 16 backs him up like we weren't having a nice conversation before Joseph stirred it up. And then he's going to say that I'm the antagonist. No, I'm not. Here I am in my space. Well, I think what he's doing is evil. I think what he's doing is evil as they believe what I'm doing is evil.
We welcome you, Holy Spirit. Come and do what only you can do.
I waved him over. He looked at me, I waved him over, he accepted my wave, and he came down and talked to me, and I respected him as a kid. No, I was not trying to.
Until we see more of you, Jesus. Until we see more.
I think that the way that I'm doing it is more in good faith than the way that Joseph is doing it. That's what I believe.
Take over this church, God. We want more. We won't stop.
I believe so. And when 16 told me the thing that I was doing was not cool in any way, I disagree with that. I think what I'm doing is cool in a lot of ways. So, I mean, you know, they were being Joseph! Right, because Joseph said that I am preying on little kids, but look who is talking to the little kids. Look who is.
They're younger kids.
Yeah, and they are making them feel emotions, and then they are saying, those emotions are not brought to you by my intensity. Those emotions are not brought to you by the music. Those emotions are not brought to you by the feeling of community here. Those emotions are brought to you by the Bible. And I believe that's an evil thing to do, because I can make children feel the same thing they're feeling here, even though I'm using a different God under the tent. And he accuses me of preying on children, and that's literally why I'm here, because this is a youth group, and they're trying to indoctrinate these children into never criticizing their belief that Jesus never lied. And so I got offended when he said that I was preying on children, when in fact he is. Hello there, let's talk for about 5 minutes.
Precious bride of Christ, you are rising up now. You walk with your beloved Jesus Christ to break every chain and set the.
What do you mean, all right?
We are hope carriers. We are the Lord's ambassadors.
White shirt, are you gossiping about me? Are you gossiping about me right now? I'd like to talk to you about what you're saying about me. I don't believe that you've engaged with me, yet you're talking about me. I don't think that's very respectful. Do you? Peach hat! Are you telling people not to engage with me? Why are you doing that? I'm not telling people not to engage with you, pink hat.
And the flames become lovely in the name of Jesus. The Lord God Almighty will destroy
16! 16!
of our God.
16!
Strengthen those who have tired.
Joseph! Joseph!
Time to pray, church.
Joseph!
Don't be
Is it
quiet.
time to talk yet, Joseph? When shall we talk, Joseph?
Knees again and keep praying. The breakthrough is here.
Sir, you said you were going to talk to me. I asked you if we could talk for 5 minutes, and you said all right. Have you changed your mind, sir? Excellent. Hello there, what's your name? That's right. Being fair. That's right. I'd like to talk to you. Can we talk for about 5 minutes? Hello there. Can I talk to you for about 5 minutes? About how what you're doing is an evil thing? Hello there. Can I talk to you about 5 minutes about religion? How do you know you're good?
So you can sing like a deer. Those who have been silent, unable to speak, you will sing for joy. For springs will gush forth in the wilderness. Streams will water.
I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes about faith and love and reality. Absolutely. What's up? If what you're doing here is evil, are you going to stop it?
What do you mean if it's evil?
If what you're doing is an evil thing, if this is evil, will you stop doing it?
It's not evil.
If it's evil, will you stop?
Well, it's not evil.
You just don't seem to understand my if. Do you not engage with ifs?
Well, here's the thing, it's not evil.
Well, here's the thing, it is evil.
Well, how?
Because you're indoctrinating these kids into mythology.
So, what do you believe?
I believe in reality.
Okay, so then that's your belief.
Yeah, and your belief is mythology.
And that's what you believe.
No, that's what you believe.
No. There's lots of proof about Jesus.
And there's lots of proof against Jesus.
Like
so,
what?
What's good proof?
Like what?
Well, I only want to talk about good proof. So what would good proof look like to you?
The Bible.
Okay, so in the Bible, if he lied, would that be good proof?
So if he lied,
yeah. Excellent. Look at look how easy.
So how did he lie?
Excellent. What's a lie?
It's not the truth.
Excellent. So if he lied to the high priest in John 18:20, if he told him not the truth, would that count?
So what did he say then?
He said that everything I said in a synagogue or a temple, and in secret I have said nothing. If that's not true, would that disprove his divinity?
I don't really understand that.
But if you saw him lie, that would disprove his divinity. So now that if you're reading the New Testament and you see Jesus Christ lying, then that will disprove.
My question is, what do you have against Jesus?
He's a liar.
How?
He didn't tell the truth to the high priest in John 18:20. Hello there. Howdy. I believe what's happening here is evil. What they're doing to you is evil. They're inculcating you. They're putting you in a cult. I'd like to save you from that cult.
So you believe in what reality?
I believe in reality.
So what's your reality?
This is my reality. This reality we live in.
So what does it mean? What does that mean?
I don't understand the question.
What's your reality?
This place that we're in, this is reality.
Yeah, so what about it? What's your belief about reality?
Here it is.
Okay, so you believe you're here and then you died, you don't go anywhere.
I believe here we are and Jesus said some things about reality that are not true.
Like what?
Like there's a heaven.
There is a heaven.
And that he never lied.
There is a heaven.
Cool, and if there's not, then Jesus is a liar. If there's no hell, Jesus is a liar, is that correct?
So my question is, what do you have against Jesus?
He lied.
How did he lie?
With his mouth.
Were you there?
No, were you?
No.
Then how do you know he didn't?
Because he said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life.
But he was not telling the truth when he said that. But what if that's not true?
It is true.
How do you know it's true?
Because I've encountered Jesus.
Excellent. So because of your encounter, you believe what he said.
And I've studied the proof.
Cool. Have you studied the disproof?
I invite you to take about 10 steps forward. This whole place is fair game.
Why would I need to study the disproof?
Let's pretend that I believe that the Quran was real and true.
Okay.
And I checked all the proofs of the Quran, and I knew it was good and holy and true.
Right.
And I devoted my life to it, and someone told me that the book is actually evil, and I said, why do I have to decide whether it's evil? I know it's true because I've encountered Muhammad or Allah. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you understand where I...
Well, I definitely, yeah. But
so what's the difference between you and that case?
Raise our hands like this.
Because, so you talk about Muslims.
Yeah, we're talking about the Quran, and you believe in the Bible.
Well, they're deceived by demons.
And you are as well?
I'm not.
How do you know?
Because I've seen demons cast it out.
Cool. Do I have demons?
Probably.
Can you cast them out?
Probably.
Do it.
I mean, you have to want it.
What do you mean by what?
You have to want to be free.
I want to be alone in here.
You want to be what?
I want to be alone in my body.
Okay. What does that mean?
You tell me. Does that mean I don't want demons?
So you have demons?
I don't have demons. There's no such thing.
There is demons.
No, there's not.
I've seen them.
Cool. You believe there's demons, and that's your belief.
So then what's your explanation when I pray for somebody, they start manifesting, which they're shaking, their eyes are on the back of their head, they start to slither like a snake, and then after that process is done, they're completely free, and they have joy and they have peace. What is that?
Can you do it to me?
If you wanted it.
I want to be alone in my body.
Okay, what does that mean?
That means that if there is such a thing as demons, I don't want any of them in me.
Then let's pray for them. Let's pray them out.
Cool. And if nothing happens, does that disprove your power?
Not my power.
Okay. Does it disprove your Jesus' power?
No, because maybe I'm not walking fully in his authority. I mean, it says in the Bible that there was disciples that went and tried to cast out demons.
So it seems like this is new. It seems like you brought us to a part of conversation that's new. Let's not talk about demons. Let's talk about the lies of Christ. If you saw him lying, would that disprove the Bible?
There's no lies.
That's your claim. How could I disprove that claim?
I don't know, man.
Hello there.
I'm not sure what you have against Jesus, man.
He lied. I told third time I've told you, he's a liar.
How's he a liar?
The same way that Muhammad's a liar. And Joseph Smith is a liar.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Cool. How do you know Joseph Smith is a liar?
Because he's preaching a false gospel.
So is Jesus. Hello, I'd like to talk to you for about 5 minutes. Let's talk.
No, go up there.
Come here. Why are you telling him not to?
Because you're spewing lies.
No, you are.
No, I believe you are.
I believe you are.
Okay.
We're talking about truth and lies, and what you're doing here is evil. Do you believe in the Quran? Do you believe the Quran is true? Do you believe that the Quran tells truth, or is it full of lies as well?
Hands into the sky!
Cool. Same with the Bible. If a person was out here preaching the Quran, would they be doing evil? I'm getting at your evil, and you're doing evil here. Do you understand? Could I prove it to you? How could I prove it to you? How could I prove to you that the Bible is not holy? What is the sort of way to disprove it? Is it even possible to disprove the Bible? If you saw Jesus lie, would that disprove the Bible? Why not? If you saw Jesus lie, would that disprove the Bible?
Seen too much and experienced too much.
Amen.
So have people who believe in the Quran seen too much and experienced too much.
So have they seen demons casted out?
Yeah.
I don't believe they have.
Is that right? If I show you a Mohammedanist that has seen demons casted out, would you believe in the Quran?
In the name of Jesus, though?
No, in the name of Allah. If I show you demons being cast out in the name of Allah, will you believe in the Quran?
I mean,
Dancing upon snakes, dancing upon injustice.
I don't think there's any.
I know, that's because you live here. Do you live in the Middle East?
No.
Cool. Do you think that they believe in demons in the Middle East?
Breaking the chains.
Maybe.
Do you think that they cast them out in the Middle East?
Christians do.
Do you think that the Mohammedans do?
Only demons can come out by the name of Jesus.
Cool. So if I show you a demon coming out in the name of Allah, you'll worship Allah.
Yeah, show me.
Excellent.
Show me.
On YouTube?
Show me.
You gonna Google it?
No.
Can I use your phone? I don't have mine with me. He just said that if he sees someone cast out demons in the name of Allah, he'll worship Allah. Do you agree with that?
You ready to dance on injustice?
I know. Why? Why? Why did you choose to worship Jesus? I love you. Why don't you worship him? Neither is Jesus.
I'm not here to argue today.
Yes, you are. You're here to argue. This whole thing is an argument. What you're saying is Jesus can save you, and that's an argument. Do you agree? Why do you worship another? What?
Jesus can't save you.
Prove it.
There's no other God. There's no other religion that said Jesus literally said, "I am."
I am.
I am.
I am.
What do you mean?
I mean I am.
Okay, so if you resurrected from the dead, I would worship you.
Excellent, cool.
Yeah.
How do you know Jesus? No, come on, we're not done. Why are you walking away?
Because there was over 500 eyewitnesses.
500 eyewitnesses?
Yes.
Yeah. What were the names?
No idea.
But they were eyewitnesses.
Okay, do you believe George Washington was president?
Yeah.
Okay, then how do you know that?
Well, because Thomas Jefferson said he was.
Right.
Because John Quincy Adams said he was in his book. Because of all the places where it's written down. Now, where is it written
those
down?
Are reliable sources.
Where is it written down that Jesus? How do you know?
So you do
that
know
the Book
the
of
Bible
Mark?
is the most historically proven artifact.
What do you mean by that?
There's literally 25,000 manuscripts of the New Testament.
What do you mean by manuscript?
Manuscripts, writings of the New Testament.
What do you mean by that? When were they written?
I believe 300 years after Jesus
That's right.
was crucified.
That's right. And what was happening 300 years after Jesus was crucified?
Christians were being persecuted.
I mean, after that.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
The bulk of the manuscripts that we have come from the sort of Constantinople explosion of Christianity. Do you know what happened in Constantinople around 350?
I don't, man.
And that's where the manuscripts are from.
I don't believe so.
Is that right?
There's Dead Sea Scrolls.
Yeah. And what does it say in the Dead Sea Scrolls? Did you read them?
No.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you were talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls that you haven't read. Continue. Right. If Jesus lied, would you worship him?
If he what?
If he lied, would you worship him?
He did lie.
If he lied, would you worship him?
Well, he didn't because he.
If he lied, would you worship him?
I'm the way, he's the truth.
Is he?
He's literally true.
Well, what if he was lying about that?
He's literally true.
What if he was lying about that?
Okay, how would he lie?
With his mouth?
Okay, but why would he? What was the reason he has to lie?
Okay.
What was the reason that he has to lie? The same reason Muhammad had to lie. Was Muhammad lying?
So he was possessed by demons. So you're saying Jesus was possessed by demons?
No, I'm literally telling you over and over, I don't believe in demons.
I've seen them.
That's cool. You believe in demons.
You believe in reality.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I believe there's a spiritual realm, and I've seen the spiritual realm.
Right, and that's different from reality.
Yes.
Excellent. Right. You believe in mythology?
Not mythology. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've casted a demon out of somebody.
Do I have a demon in me?
I don't know.
How can you not know?
Because
if you're 4 feet away from a demon, how can you not know?
I believe you do have a demon, yes.
Then remove it.
Do you want it removed?
I don't want a demon in me if there is such a thing.
Okay, then let me pray for you. What's your name?
My name is Mitch. If you pray and no demons leave, will that disprove you're God?
No.
Then I will wait until it is meaningful. I will wait for the prayer until it disproves your God.
Let's pray right now then. Let's see
Only if it disproves your God. Only
Lord,
if it
I thank you
disproves
for
your
Mitch.
God.
Jesus, I thank you right now. I just pray the blood of Jesus right now over Mitch. I just pray, God, that the places that are hurt, the wounded places in his life, God, that you come and heal and restore his heart.
Are you casting out demons?
And I pray, God, right now that you just show him the truth. Whatever the truth is, show him the truth. Jesus, you said, I'm the way, the truth, and the life, and no one can come to the Father except for me. I believe that's the truth, Father. And I just pray to God right now. I just pray against darkness. I pray against demons. I command them to go in Jesus' name. I thank you, God, that you are God. Jesus, you are God. The great I am. I thank you, God, that the seed of the gospel is planted in his heart. And I pray, Holy Spirit, that you'd move in his life. In Jesus' name.
Did it work? Did your magic spell work? Bye! Coward! 16, I'd like to talk to you about what you said to me earlier. I'd like to talk to you about what you said to me earlier. Do you recall what you said to me? That what I'm doing here is not cool in any way? Do you recall saying that? I'd like to defend myself against your accusation. Do I have a chance to defend myself against your very aggressive accusation that what I'm doing here is not cool in any way? Can I explain to you that what you're doing here, indoctrinating these children, is not cool in any way? Your spell did not work! I didn't feel any demons leaving! Come here, I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. 16, I'd like to talk to you about what you said about me. I'd like to defend myself against your false accusation, against the lies that you told about me. I'd like to defend myself, coward. Why don't you face me? I get a chance to face my accuser, don't I? You coward. Come here, I'd like to talk to you, blue shirt. Blue shirt, I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Come here. I'd like to talk to you about how what you're doing is evil. What you're doing is an evil act. You're being evil here today. I'd like to talk you out of it. Come here. Let's talk. Why are you afraid to talk? What on earth could you lose just by talking? Hello there, I'd like to talk to you for about 5 minutes about religion. Oh, John, let's talk. Have a good night, man. Go fuck yourself. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk. Does he? How do you know that? Let's talk, 16. 16. John! John, come on back, coward! John, come back, you coward! Hello there. I'd like to talk to you. Hello there. These people worship evil and they're doing evil, do you agree? Fuck up. Let's sing. 16. Let's talk, you coward. Why don't you man up and talk to me about that shit you believe? You're an evil person and you're doing evil on the street today. I'd like to talk to you about it. I'd like the opportunity to talk you out of this evil that you're doing. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Come here. I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Come here. Come here. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Right here. Come here. Come here. What are you afraid of? Oh, they just told you to not think, huh? Just told you to do your job and not think about it? I'm sure that's going to turn out well. What you're doing here is not cool in any way. It's evil. You're indoctrinating children in mythology. You're taking advantage of these people's youth. You're lying to them so that you feel better about the lies that you've chosen to believe. It makes you an evil person, just like a Mohammedanist, just like a Mormon. In insinuating their false beliefs into other people's minds. It's an unloving thing to do, and you're an unloving person. You're causing all these people harm inside their minds. You're doing it intentionally. You're doing it self-righteously. It's kind of the worst way to do it. Come here. Oi, oi, oi! Oi, oi, oi! Black shirt! Oi, 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 oi! John, come here! Come here, John! John! John, come here! John! Oi, oi, oi! John! John! John, let's talk! John! I'd like to talk to you, John, like I said I was going to. You're doing evil to your children here. You're doing evil to your children. You're an evil person and you're doing evil to your child here. I'm sorry your parents are mistreating you like this. I'm sorry they're abusing you like this and taking advantage of you. It's a cruel thing to do to a child. And I wish your parents loved you more than this. Let's talk, coward. Let's talk for 5 minutes about how evil you're being to your child. Hey, 16. Let's talk, coward. Let's use our big boy words, shall we? Or you're just going to stew, huh? Is that what the Bible tells you to do, is brood and stew? That sounds very wise and adult. Let's use our reason let's talk to each other, let's use our minds in conversation. Unless you're afraid of using your mind. Come here, I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Let's talk. Come here. Come here. Let's talk. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here, let's talk for 5 minutes. Let's have a conversation. Come here. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk like adults instead of be cowards and hide. Come on down, Stripey. Let's have a conversation about truth and morality and how we know what's good and evil. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here. John, let's talk. John, I'd like to talk to you, John. Hello there, can we talk for about 5 minutes about truth and love? Hey, 16, let's talk. Are you so proud of how good you are at ignoring people? Hello, come here, let's talk for 5 minutes. Joe! Joe! Joseph! Joseph, you said we were going to talk! When is that happening, Joseph? Joseph, did you lie to me? Howdy! How you doing? What are you up to, my man? I don't have any, my apologies. My wife does. If she shows up, I'll bump some for you. I'm out of them, but my wife might. Hey, 16, let's talk. Hey, 16, what you're doing here is not cool in any way. You're doing an evil thing here. You're inculcating children. You're using emotional manipulation to inculcate children. It's an evil thing to do. You're evil, and you're supporting evil. It's not implicit either, it's explicit support of evil. Come on down, kiddo. Let's talk like adults. You can use your big boy words finally. Unless you don't know how. Unless they didn't teach you how to talk in this cult. They only taught you how to be quiet and obey, huh? You think it's very grown up to obey? Only children obey. Adults cannot. Adults cannot obey. There's no one to obey. Adults must make their own moral decisions. There's no other option. Are you a moral agent in this reality? Or are you merely obedient? Hello, come here. I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Come here. For 5 minutes. 5 minutes of talk. No, just right here. 5 minutes. Just a little bit. 5 minutes of talk. Come here. We're going to talk about whether Jesus lied. Come here. Come here. 5 minutes. We'll just talk. Why? Why? Why not? Why? I understand you saying no, but I want to know why you're saying no. What is the reason? Come here. For 5 minutes. Let's talk. Me talk. You talk. Together.
Hands like this.
Joseph! 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 Joseph!
Jesus into your next school year.
Hey, Stripe Shirt, I'd like to talk to you. I'd like to talk to you about how what you're doing is an evil thing.
Thank you, Jesus, for worship. Thank you
Joseph!
for every person.
Hello there!
The students.
Red hoodie! Red hoodie! Joseph! 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 Joseph!
You guys ready to jump?
Hello there. I'd like to talk to you. Hello there, can I talk to you for about 5 minutes? Joseph! 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 You said you were going to talk to me! No, come here. For 5 minutes. Come here. For 5 minutes. But why? Do you know why? Does there need to be a reason? But why? Joseph! Joseph, I'd like to talk to you! Come here. Come here. I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Hello, come here. Hello there, come here. Hello there.
Yeah. Somebody say, open up the heavens.
Come here.
Let's go, Kevin.
Let's talk for 5 minutes. Come here. Why? Why?
Your ways, your purposes, advancing the kingdom. Hands like this.
Come here. Is he talking about me? Hey, come here, with the backpack. I'd like to talk to you. Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here. Come here. Hello there. Come here, I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. John! John! John, I'd like to talk to you. John! John! I'd like to continue our conversation from last night, John. John! John, I'd like to continue our conversation from last night. John! John, I'd like to talk to you. Hello there. I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Can I talk to you for 5 minutes? Why not?
Because I have somewhere to be.
Do you? Is this it? Is this the place to be?
No.
Why not? Why is this not the place to be? I thought this was the place. 16, I'd like to talk to you about that shit you said about me. That hateful shit you said. I'd like to talk to you about that thing you accused me of. Do you recall it? Do you recall that accusation you made? Come here, I'd like to talk to you. Come here, for 5 minutes, let's talk. I'm not talking to you, shut up! That guy, come here. 5 minutes. Why? What good would it... Why? What is the reason? What?
What's the reason yelling at everybody?
So that he could come over and talk to me. 16, I'd like to talk to you about that stuff you said about me. Let's talk. You're a coward.
What do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about truth and love and morality and how these people are doing an evil thing. And how they're doing evil here. And they're doing it intentionally and they can feel it inside of themselves. They
You're
do now.
tweaking, dude.
What?
You tweaking?
Say again?
Are you tweaking?
Am I tweaking? No, I'm sober, unfortunately. Joseph, come here. Come here. Yeah, you just did. Why? Why not?
Because you didn't like
Why?
about.
Why? Why not, John? What do you have to lose? Come here. Come here. Yeah, come here. For 5 minutes. Let's talk. Come here. For 5 minutes. Yep. Come here. For 5 minutes. Let's talk. Why? Why? Let's talk. Come here. Come here. Come down here and let's talk. Let's talk for 5 minutes down here. Come here. Let's talk about it. Come here. Let's talk about that. Let's have a conversation about that.
Not right now.
Joseph!
No.
Joseph, you said you were going to talk to me.
What the
Joseph, you said you were going to talk.
Shut your mouth.
Joseph, you said you were going to talk to me. Let's talk. You said you were going to have a conversation with me. When is that happening, Joseph? Joseph! When is that conversation happening?
When she's ready.
Are you drinking?
No, I don't do shit.
Do you do weed?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't do no kind of drugs.
At all? Do you drink at all?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Hello there.
I smoke weed.
Excellent, I smoke weed as well. Hello there, can I talk to you for about 5 minutes about religion?
I don't yell at people when the concert's going on.
Yeah, but they're yelling.
The other people got ears too. They want to hear the concert.
Unity.
If you would, please.
We are so.
I'm not going to stop.
Right now.
I do love them. 16, let's talk. Let's talk about how much I love you. Let's talk about why I came out here to stand in the rain to help you out in this cult, 16. Let's talk about my love for you, 16.
Okay, show it.
I am showing it. I'm showing it by trying to talk about it in a hateful cult. They're
Let
yelling.
it come back. You let it come back.
Come here.
There you go.
They're yelling, aren't they? Do you agree? 16. I'd like to talk to you about the evil you're doing here.
No matter your denomination, as the body of Christ, we are one. We will show the nation by our love, by our unity.
Inculcating kids into false beliefs is evil, do you agree?
And I really feel the Lord
inculcating children is evil, do you agree? Do you agree that inculcating children is... Can we talk for 5 minutes? Talk for 5 minutes?
Purity. Everywhere you look.
Joseph! When are we going to talk?
Everywhere you look.
You said we're going to talk, Joseph. Let's do it now. Now's a great time for me.
Eyes of honor. Because the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy.
No, I'm not. I'm not coming to steal, kill, nor destroy. You misunderstand me completely. You misunderstand me. I'm not coming here to steal. They are worshipping an evil god, and they're trying to get kids to love that god, and they're inculcating these kids into that evil cult. Music helps the kids feel a sort of emotion, and with that emotion, they try to tell these kids that that emotion means that the Bible is true. I think you can. I think you're allowed to get up there and dance. I think that you're invited to party. I'm not invited.
Am I a kid?
No, I think you're allowed to. Well, I think if you listen to them and you connect those feelings into the truthfulness of the Bible, I think that you are being sort of fooled.
I grew up in church.
Yeah, same. I did things like this when I was this age, and they helped me to stay in the Mormon church for longer than I should have. I would have critically thought my way out of it if there weren't social gatherings like this that connected the truthfulness of my religion into other emotions I was feeling, like the emotion of community and the feelings that you get by listening to music.
We're going to declare righteousness, peace, and joy.
A few of them have, and it's been really nice, but a few have. I do appreciate your
I'm not for or against any. I'm not claiming one or another.
Hello there.
We reject anything that is not you, God.
Let's talk for 5 minutes.
There is not a single thing.
Let's talk for 5 minutes. Let's have a 5-minute conversation.
We want you and nothing but you. We rebuke any bad, any false influence.
One of them attempt to...
We say you go.
No worries.
We rip you from the head.
No, what they're doing is very silly.
We rip you from the heart and the home of your children, God. We are free to let you.
Oh yeah, this is nonsense. Also, they're doing it in public, which I think is very, very bizarre. I think that this is a misunderstanding of the First Amendment and having the.
You should be 18 before you're exposed to religion.
Absolutely.
Just like pornography.
No, absolutely. I think that getting children.
Tobacco. Alcohol,
I think it's an adult-only game.
Thing.
Absolutely.
There should be no children.
Yeah. I think the allowance.
Because you're too young to know, and you're too influential.
Yeah.
You know, you're too impressionable. You're gonna latch on to what feels good.
Yeah.
What feels right.
That's right.
You feel that sense of family.
And that's right. And if you feel good,
And just when you get into it, you're
you don't feel right. You feel like you're a piece of shit. And you're going to hell.
On the sacrifice that Elijah made to God and whatever that Paul
in this most punishable manner just because you were a person on this earth.
Other prophets did.
Just because we are what we were created to be. Yeah. I think it's a cruel thing to say to these people. One, that they're worthy of hell. Absolutely, absolutely.
That should be my credo, man.
Yeah. Hey, 16, did your God send this water? Is this rain from your God, 16? What's that?
The Lord is saying.
I'm literally not understanding it. The water is from space?
Are you arguing with guys that are like arguing with you?
I'm trying to communicate with them. I'm trying to have conversations, but they're too afraid to have conversations because they're cowards.
You came up and you're like, fuck your thing. And they're
Well,
like, no, fuck you.
Well, I didn't say fuck your thing, but I did say your thing is evil.
I know, but I mean,
no, that is.
Man, let them do their thing.
Well, but what that thing is saying is that they're saying fuck you guys. They're saying you guys are all going to hell. That's sort of one of the things. They're saying unless you're on our team, you're hellbound.
Yeah, when I showed up, I was like having a good time.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is crazy fun. Being able to imagine. And I just felt compelled to talk to you, like, just let them do their thing, man.
Oh, well, I am respecting their rights. I am just inviting them to have conversations. Yeah. Right.
It's not here and now.
No, I believe it is definitely here and now because of how they've come out here now and are here now. I think that's a good answer. No, I don't think that I'm going to do that. Thank you though for your opinion that I'm going to ignore. Yeah, me as well. Until you told me to get lost, then I know. So am I. I'm also doing my thing. I think both of these things. No, I literally don't know what you're saying because I think the First Amendment covers both of what we're doing, what they're doing, the evil they're doing, and the very good that I'm doing. They won't figure it out on their own. They need some help. And so,
try to fight this thing.
Why? It will destroy the world if we don't. You think that we can just sit back and everything's going to be fine? They will burn this planet to the ground to prove that the Book of Revelation is true.
Stop it by
yes.
Standing here.
Then how are we going to stop it? You're not going to stop it by pretending it's not a threat.
I'm not going to stop it.
You're not going to stop it.
They're having a good time.
Yes, burning this planet for their God. They're having a good time hating this
people are not burning the planet. They're standing there fucking listening to this.
These people are looking forward to Armageddon, where this world burns. When this world burns, they'll consider that scripture. I don't know what's wrong. This is the time and place, man. This is the time. This is the place. This is here we are.
Okay.
No, man. Just let them have it.
I am letting them have it. I'm opposing them while they do it. Just like they're letting me have it. If they're not infringing on my rights, I'm not infringing on theirs.
I just want everyone to fucking be copacetic.
It's not copacetic when they come out here and indoctrinate kids into this hateful idea of hellfire. That's not copacetic.
I know where you're at. I know where you're standing. I'm there too.
I'm standing at the... No, you're not. I am here opposing these people. You're on that side of the fence. You are not standing where I'm standing.
Well, I'm telling you, just fucking let them do that.
What I'm telling you is your passive way of dealing with this hate will cause your side to fail.
I don't think it's passive.
It is passive.
I don't think it's passive.
Then what are you doing?
I'm being accepted.
You're
bringing what Jesus wanted.
Jesus
wants everyone to get along.
No, that's not what Jesus wants.
Everyone to get along.
What if you're wrong about that? John, let's talk for 5 minutes. Why? Why not, John? Why not?
He's not talking to me because he knows I'm right.
No, I'm also still talking to you. No. John has a... You get out of here. Excellent. Cool. Bye.
Nice to meet you.
You as well. I'm Mitch.
Mitch?
Yeah, I agreed with everything you said, except that I should leave.
No, I'm grateful for our conversation.
So am I.
I'm glad to meet you, Mitch.
I agreed with everything you said.
I respect that you have this thing, but I say you should just get the fuck out of here.
I know, and that's the part that we disagree about. I think you should tell them that as well. I think you should tell them to get the fuck out of here just like you feel like I should. Can I talk to you for about 5 minutes about how what you're doing is evil? Can I talk to you about 5 minutes about how the Bible is actually evil and it makes you evil? If the Bible was evil, would that make you evil?
If you are praying for someone for healing, I want you to repeat after me.
It wouldn't?
In the name of Jesus.
You're weird.
We command.
Do you think that what you're doing here today is weird?
To be healed in the name of Jesus.
Are you being weird today, 16?
Right now, you guys.
Then why are you accusing me of being weird, as if that's not a thing to be? I know, so are you. You're being very weird. This is a strange thing to do, 16. So why are you accusing me of being weird as if it's a condemnation?
That's a characteristic, not an accusation.
Cool, you're weird too then. I hope it doesn't hurt your feelings. Also evil, one of your characteristics is evil. If you do what an evil book tells you to do, you do evil. Do you agree? What do you mean by space? Do you really think that the rain comes from space?
If you guys need to receive and experience the love of God in a new way and receive Jesus Christ in your life right now, I want you to begin to raise your hands over the place as well. I know it's raining. Raise your hands and make the way for the baptism, guys. We're going to begin baptizing people. We're going to begin baptizing people in the Holy Spirit. And here's the last thing, guys. If you've been out here...
The baptism tank? Did you set up a baptism tank? What's it look like? Is it up there? They're not allowing me to see it. What does it look like? Will you describe it to me? Is it full of water? What is it?
30 years.
Can you describe it to me?
Receive the baptism
16. Beardo! Hello there! I've been wanting to talk to you for hours. Can we talk for about 5 minutes? I've been wanting to talk to you for hours. Let's talk. Can we have a conversation for 5 minutes?
I gotta go.
Where do you gotta go?
My parking is up.
I'll follow you if you don't mind. Can we walk and talk? Why?
No, thank you.
Why? You're a coward, and what you're doing is evil. You're inculcating children into your hateful group. I'd like to talk to you about what you're doing is evil. You're an evil person and you're doing evil.
Alright, bud.
What do you mean alright? Is it alright to do evil? Is it alright to do evil? Why are you doing evil in the streets? And why are you too afraid to talk to me about it?
Hey, God bless you.
Have fun being a coward. Bye, coward.
Into the baptism tank. If you need to escape the rain, run up into the stairs. There's covering. But don't miss this moment. God wants to break you and make all things new in you.
It seems like the rain ruined that baptismal moment, huh? It was going to be so great, and then it like rained. This guy was really hoping. That's a great shirt. I love that shirt. Are you being baptized today? How do you know? Oh, okay. How do you know that it was the correct way of baptism? Say again? Oh, you did some childish response? Oh, okay. Well, when you're ready to grow up and use your big boy words, come on by, 16. Yeah. You're doing really great, by the way, at being a grown-up. Doing grown-up things and talking in a grown-up way. You're almost convincing me. Let's talk. Is that a grown-up thing to do, get a job? Yeah. And I don't have a job? You're accusing me of not having a job? Is that your accusation? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, I'd like to talk to you for 5 minutes. Come here. I'd like to have a conversation with you for 5 minutes. Come here. Let's talk. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Let's talk for 5 minutes. Right here. Come here. Come here. Hello there. I would like to talk to you for 5 minutes about how what you're doing is evil. If the book that you're following is evil, would that make you evil? If the Bible is not holy, does that mean that you are not holy? Let's talk. Let's have a conversation.